to the Play Some Video Games podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Delvin Cox, and with me, as always, is the God of Thunder, Donnie Eat the Hype Reese. How you doing, bro? Good answer. Keep going.
Eating.
Also with me
Eat the hype is eating.
is the Chupacabra, my boy Chaufie. What's up, bro?
What's happening? What's good, man? What's happening? It's like twice in a week podcasting. Yeah. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Glad you didn't get deported.
No, I know. Fuck it. It's gonna happen soon. It's gonna happen soon.
Sooner or later. So let's start with the guest since Donnie's eating. Give him a chance to eat. How's your week been, bro?
I mean, so far so good. Started off earlier this week with a fresh episode of Cadillac on Mars, so that was a lot of fun to just kick it with Delvin and T and just kind of just catch up and whatnot.
Damn, it's been so long he forgot his own co-host names.
Yeah.
Right, seriously, I was like
the black guy and the other black guy.
Right, exactly.
the fat black guy and the other fat black guy.
No, but I mean, other than that, just kind of getting ready for the 4th of July. It'll be my son's 17th birthday on the 4th, which
boy,
is
American. American is apple pie, baby.
Nah, man, that boy is a fucking explosive person, and so it's
so that's
holiday,
American. That's American.
You know what? You're right. Yes, that is true. So usually we do like a block party thing, and or we go over to a friend's block party and just hang out over there. So it'll be kind of fun to go do that, and then my son just kind of bounces in and out with his friends. We don't really like celebrate his birthday until like the 5th. That's when we actually will like go to dinner and do gifts and shit like that.
Okay.
And then just kind of just chilling, fucking, doing adventurous stuff like getting a new roof on my house, solar panels.
Sounds exciting.
Just those great, amazing, goddamn, I'm an adult and I hate it type of situation. So, because then it's not like, this thing costs $55. It's like, okay, well, this is $1,000 for that. Here's a couple thousand for this other thing. I'm like,
solar panels are kind of expensive.
It's a bitch, but I mean, I did come through with some good deals, so it's not going to kill me too much. But in the long
fell
run,
off the truck.
Right? Exactly. So other than that, everything's been good.
I got these panels, Holmes.
They are like Pendleton flannel color. It's weird, but I mean, they look like serapes.
I've got a couple things off the fall. Hey, this fell off the truck. Like, all right.
Yeah, cool. Fell off and right into my hands. I'm good.
I'm good with that.
But no, other than that, everything's been really good. We just finished doing a bunch of shopping, just trying to get an early head start on like fucking school clothes and whatnot. And it's easier when I'm on vacation because then it's like I can go and come and whatnot, and it doesn't really like impede on my wife's day very much.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
because you work in the education field.
Mm-hmm.
So since you're on vacation,
yeah,
you don't get paid, right?
No, I do.
Oh, you do. So you're one of the fortunate.
Prorated out through the year.
No. So
your salary, I'm assuming.
Different. It depends on your district. Depends on your state. Depends on your position. So there's a wide variety. So Donnie is right. 9 times out of 10 for teachers. You know what? I take that back. Even less. It's a 50-50. Some teachers will get it prorated throughout the year. I'm salaried 12 months out of the year because I end one and start another. So even though I'm on summer break, it's like my 5 weeks is actually broken up into 2.5 ending the year and 2.5 starting the new school year. So the new school year actually just started July 1st. And then the other end is some districts will actually just, like Donnie said, just prorate it throughout the year. And so you could get paid 12 months. I honestly thought
it would be up to the employee if they wanted to prorate it.
It depends on how it's like contractually negotiated. Because, and you would think that, and that would be the slam dunk. Some people get really fucking worked up and they're like, no, I want a larger check.
That's what I'm saying. I think because of that, I would imagine that it would be up to the employee, the choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people would get serious.
But it affects payroll, like in a big way. Because
you have this big payroll hike in this one point of time, I can get that.
And then
your payroll's fucked up for that month, yeah.
Yeah, and
that
so then when you're like, we just like the teachers union just negotiated for like a 1.8% raise. So if we had two different brackets, even though you would think, oh, the 1.8 applies, no big deal, you just bump it up. But depending on how they're getting paid and how, like, if they were 10 months or 12 months, and then you add in retro pay, it doesn't like equate the same way. So it's got to be like one or the other. Now, I've been in districts where they shifted one way or the other, and that was super problematic.
Yeah.
Because some people were really like, I want a bigger check less months out of the year, and I'll just figure out what to do those other months. And other people were like, oh, I just want it to be set it and forget it, and just know,
to have it constantly come in every week, regardless. I've, as a person who's done payroll before, not for education, but on other jobs and stuff like that, that payroll thing is seriously, because they were like, hey, if you have a vacation this week, and like, oh, well, you have to adjust for the vacation. Like, but and they sometimes don't take that off of your payroll.
Yeah.
So so we have to have extra people here, but now you're still coming out your initial payroll. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. So it throws it like in a really like weird way, but So that's how the kind of payroll functions. So for me though, as a site administrator, I'm in a different category. So it's like, even though I'm on vacation,
you're not on vacation.
No, I mean, I've fucking just like, I did an interview on Monday. I did another interview like the week before. I'm still checking emails and shit like that. So it's, I mean, I'm doing whatever the fuck I'm on. I'm on vacation, yes, but it's like,
it's like you just work in a lighter schedule.
In a sense, yes.
You're
it's
just
like work from home.
Remote. Yeah, you're remote.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Because the district offices don't close. So they're still sending shit like all the way. Also, I think you guys were talking something wild last week. Might have been Dev who was saying
That's
it.
every week.
Definitely. That's every week.
That's every week.
No, I was like, you guys.
I need you to be more specific.
Here's what I'm going to say. If you guys ever talk about education and curriculum, you mind just texting me on the side so that I can tell you if you're dumb or not?
No, these kids are dumb as hell.
Because when you guys
this education system is failing us left and right. I was just telling you people.
Were saying, no, here's what I'm going to tell you the truth, and then we'll get back to that. When you guys were talking about how kids don't learn maps anymore, I was like, this is the dumbest shit I ever heard. Yes, they are learning maps. They really, really are.
Not here.
But
I believe out there they are. I believe California.
What I was going to say is it really depends on your like your state and local curriculum.
Well,
and so
Chaufie,
I'm going
to kids out here are dumb as hell.
I'm in Florida. He's in Georgia. They ain't teaching no fucking maps.
Listen, and my kids are included in, and like I said it. I told my own kids. I was like, we're gonna have to work on this.
I think Deb was like, "Oh no, they definitely don't." I was like, "You're so dumb." Yeah, they do.
My daughter. Man, I hate throwing my daughter under the bus.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
It is funny. Like I had to I forget why we got started on this. She had like a board game or something out that had a map on it.
I know why we got started. I can tell exactly how we got started. We got started on a
because you went to the wrong fucking island.
Well, I didn't pick the fucking island. She
but you picked the tickets to the wrong island, so you did it. You're not free. You're not absolved of this,
I'm
sir.
completely absolved.
You put the credit card in, and come on.
She picked the place.
Come on. No, she picked a place. You picked the place.
I'm kind of going to side with Donnie on this, too, because it's kind of like...
Yeah, he's not free of guilt. He's trying.
She gave it to you. Usually in most relationships, you kind of go like, wait, okay.
You think you'd Google it or something.
No, I don't give a fuck.
This man just went right to the airport website, typed in St. Thomas, and clicked buy.
No.
He didn't read the description. He didn't look at a map. Nothing.
She said the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas. Now, if she just said St. Thomas, I'm like, okay, that's my bad. She specifically said Virgin Islands.
Time out. When you went to buy the tickets and you typed in St. Thomas, did not more than one St. Thomas pop up?
The first one came up with Virgin Islands. I don't know why.
Still, you should have been like, show me the TikTok. Show me the place you want to go. Yeah. Before tickets were purchased.
Donnie.
Before feet ever hit the ground, you should have an idea of where you're going.
Let me ask you a question, Donnie.
You just got in a metal tube and went wherever it was they were taking.
You're one of my best. You and Chaufie are two of my best friends. You know I'm not doing that goddamn research.
No, that's true.
I am.
But
you know I'm not.
Will.
You know,
Donnie will. We will do that.
Yeah, I'm going to Myrtle Beach in a couple weeks, and I've done everything. I know how much everything's going to cost. Like, booked all the
Half
things.
of the time, I look at the notes for this show. Like, Donnie will tell me what the fuck going on. So you think I'm gonna look at some shit about fucking
Fair. That's fair on your part.
St.
Anyway,
Thomas?
getting back to the point. My daughter
Devin
and her
went late to
friends.
Raw
It
Dog.
was like her girlfriend. There was like 8 kids over that day. There was a lot of kids.
Very accurate
They were
statement.
playing some game that had like a map, like a board, like a map, and she pointed at something. And it was like way off. It was like wherever I don't remember exactly. But she pointed somewhere like Nevada, Wyoming, Idaho. Like she pointed somewhere over there. And then she was like, I guess that's
Cleveland.
Vermont. And I was like, what, Vermont? You're not even remotely close to Vermont.
Yeah.
And she was like, what?
She's like, that's Cleveland.
And then, dude, I literally, this is what got me. This is when I was like, oh, we're going to get some
We're doomed.
flashcards. Like this. I pointed at the map. I was like, this state borders Ohio, where I'm from. You've driven through this state. What state is this? And I was pointing at Pennsylvania. Her in-law, like my in-laws live there. And she saw that Pennsylvania was next to West Virginia. And without a lapse, she literally uttered the words, North Virginia. And I was like, do you think there's 4 Virginias? She was like, absolutely. South
She think
Virginia,
there's a
West
North
Virginia,
Virginia?
East Virginia, North Virginia. She thinks there's a Virginia for every direction.
She was fucking with you.
No, she wasn't, because I spun the map to the other side of the planet, and I was like, what's this? And I pointed at Japan, and I don't remember what she said, but she said something like Denmark. I was
She's
like,
all,
Place where-
she's all, oh, that's East California.
I was like, do you think this is Europe?
that's Cleveland.
This island off the coast of China? Do you think this is Europe? And she was like,
Yeah.
She was like, what is it, like the Philippines? I was like, oh my
That's East
God.
Europe. It's Eastern
Oh
Europe.
my God, we are far east Europe. Yeah, like, no, we're
I
far.
should try this experiment with my kids.
Thank
I
God
can
for
pick out
AI,
a map.
right? Thank God for AI and phones. They don't have to. They don't have to figure it out. You just
figure
Google
out.
it.
Yeah, the one thing that is like, it's super archaic, but I still do appreciate it, is like, from the students at my school to even my own like kids in my house, they still do the old school, like, print the sheet, label it. They're mapping out like the trade winds and fucking ocean currents, and then labeling like the states and capitals and shit like that. So it's that old, like I said, it's just like archaic, because everything is just like, watch this video, but it's like, you really don't get much out of just watching a ton of videos. I mean, we watch a lot of videos daily, and it's like, oh, I'm just looking for the information that's like entertaining to me, not really like risking the opportunity to use my fucking brain, you know?
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
That's for
The
TikTok.
way we used to do education back in the day, and I know I'm sounding old like that,
We
worked.
all of it. Yeah, we are sounding old.
it worked because you had to
Yeah.
write things down, you had to memorize it, and you had
Yeah.
to keep it in your head. Showing us these videos and all this thing, like, ooh, do this, it doesn't work the same.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say earlier. It's like,
It's about
it really is.
retention. They're not retaining anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the bigger issue in all of this, and then we'll talk about some fun stuff, is just,
Yeah, as I say, like, are we going to get to games or anything?
yeah,
Just
it's
talk
just
about America's education system?
seriously,
Yeah, that's
it's
a good idea.
it's just the politics that have like fucked everything up. Like I've said it here, I've said it everywhere. Like, I mean, the truth is, like, you know, the secret rooms you hear about, like, oh, schools have a secret room where we do surgery. We don't have money for pencils. You think we have money to do surgery on people?
I
came up
think you
with
have a
that
secret
myth?
room.
You don't hear
Yeah,
this
I
shit
never
about
heard
like
Is this like,
no.
is this like
Fucking-
the thing with the pizza place and the...
no, this is
The
this is
empty
Trump's rhetoric of, they go into school a boy, they come out a girl, they go into a
Oh,
room.
that's right.
they
I
change-
forgot about that.
Like, literally, our president says this,
No, it's not an actual thing. No.
and so it's just like,
It's a thing very dumb people believe. But
Yeah,
no,
that's
it's
what
not-
I'm like.
there's a
but it's
lot
not
of
an
dumb
actual
people.
thing. There are. That's the problem.
yeah.
They believe this shit?
The
So what
system is a popularity-based system, and there are a lot of dumb people.
But so the point I wanted to make in all of this, though, is what ends up happening is when you have a lot of this like ignorant dialogue taking place, we stop talking about like teaching kids, and we get
Yeah.
hung up on having to fight the bullshit. So I have a lot of parents
100%.
who will come to my school and say the most ignorant stuff, where I'm like, oh, you have, like, you are mentally
one of those
deficient.
people.
Like
You
you,
ate paint chips as
like
a child.
you don't know how to discern from what's like reality.
One of my
and what's
favorite-
not.
One of my favorite TikToks is a guy talking about these sorts of things while they're popping up, and he goes, "Remember those kids from class who like couldn't like pass the test and everything?" He's like, "They grew up. Everybody told them that
Yeah.
they're smart. and he's more or less, he's like, they believe that facts, like they think facts work off of belief.
Yeah.
They think that's how facts work.
Yeah.
Is off of belief.
Well, because, like because you got to think of the people who are parents or young parents now. Many of them believe 9/11 didn't happen.
Yeah. Wow.
That was like a very fictional thing. Not even going into it was a conspiracy. They're like, no, it didn't happen.
Yeah, we got to get out of this. I don't want to do this. It's been a long day, dude. I just got off the road. I don't want to do this.
I will say
And
this.
I'm telling you, these are firsthand
Thanks,
conversations
Delvin.
I've had.
God damn it, Delvin.
What you say fuck me for?
Because you're the one that started this. You were like, so Chaufie.
It's like, I don't want to talk about work, man. I just want to bullshit around with you guys.
I just asked him, how does he get paid?
Where's my fucking vape?
Man,
I can't be doing this with y'all.
Can you just kick Delvin out of here so we could just bullshit the rest of the way?
That's fine. Look, the last time I was on here, I started talking about stuff that might have got my ass in trouble because I was saying some wild shit on this show.
Oh, you really were, man. You were fucking...
Look.
I'm going to say the last few episodes, you really been on some bullshit.
The community was like, hey, you can't be saying this on the show.
I have no idea what you're referring to. Did I miss something?
Well, throughout the week, I've been calling Rude Days a hoe.
That's
So
fine.
that's fine.
It's very tame by PSVG.
What did I say to y'all yesterday?
No, the classic that should be like pinned to the top of the PSVG chat is "Suck a Dick, D Life." Like,
Oh yeah, that was great. That was fantastic. That was fantastic.
Most fucking flagrant. Like, what did I do?
I've never been so more proud of this man to that moment.
Because talk about catching a stray.
It's great.
That was a
great.
fucking classic.
I was
man.
so proud.
That was a moment in history.
Oh, I think you muted, Donnie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you muted.
Sorry about that. There we go. So I'm upset that Daniel's not here with us. I love Daniel. And then
He'll probably be in a minute. Yeah, you love Daniel like Rebecca loves all these people. She keep talking about I love.
Notice that he's been pretty quiet today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I definitely wasn't gonna let that go like unsaid. I'm like, where's
probably
the
why you're not here.
optimism? Where's the
That's probably why you're not
optimism? Like, where's the post, man? Where's the flag? He's just not. And listen, I get it. I'm saying that facetiously. I get it. I've been there too. I think we all have. Nobody loves when your thing that you love, everybody shits on. Like it's a shitty day. Nobody likes that.
I should call him right fucking now.
Like, yo, what the fuck is Xbox doing over there? You need to call Phil. Better call Uncle Phil. Fucking figure this shit out. So,
Yeah.
anyway. Fun guy. Fun.
How you been playing any games, Chaufie?
Oh yeah, let's see what I've been playing. A bunch of Destiny 2.
Wow.
Yeah, been like super into it. Just every now and again I get really like, this is the cycle I go into. I start playing a bunch of Call of Duty, like multiplayer, and then I'm like, man, you know what? I miss the shooting in Destiny. And so then I go back into that and then realize like there's a bunch of missions I just never finished. So I finished like whatever's like the light whatever thing, and now I'm doing the final, I think it's final shape. So I'm on like the last pieces of that. And so some parts have been pretty hard where I'm like, man, this is fucking challenging. I do appreciate that they've stripped it down a ton, because it's like you had all kinds of different fucking levels and things, and it still has a lot of that, but it's not as like overwhelming and convoluted as it used to be. So
let me ask you a question.
It's back to being fun. Yeah.
Oh, here we go
When
again.
you started playing this game, is that the point in time that you realized you were poor and couldn't afford other games to play besides this whack ass game?
Nah, man, I got money. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
play
people
something
love Destiny, though.
Yeah.
Play something
No.
else.
Talking about
Well,
man.
you know what it
Play
is?
Zelda.
I'm trying to not because even with that, I'm trying to not buy like a bunch of new games and then just sit on a stack. Like this year, honestly, has been the year that I've played the least amount of games. So
Don't you
I
have a
was
Switch
like,
too?
I didn't get a Switch 2. No, I even avoided that. I was just like,
I
I'm
haven't seen
not. I wasn't into
That's
it.
unfortunate.
Well, you know what? Even the Switch 2, it doesn't. Everything I saw for the Switch 2 and everything.
Oh, you
I'm
saw the thing
seeing
about
now,
the screen. It was like, well, fuck this.
Well, no, it actually made me appreciate my OLED a lot more, and I've been playing that like more often. And so yeah, because I've been
fuck
playing
that.
what's the
Bro.
fucking like
Yeah,
the
I would
polygon?
tell you.
I'm gonna keep
You got-
carrying that flag. I'm gonna keep carrying this flag. Damn,
You need
shit's
to-
overrated, man.
You need to get a screen. You need to get a Switch 2 in your hands. It's a game changer.
Also, I don't want to.
Go lie.
Also,
It's
I don't
worth it.
want. I don't
Not
want
gonna
a
lie.
bigger device.
Facts.
It's not that much bigger. It's big enough. It's perfect.
No. I disagree with you there, Chaufie. That's fine. It's big, dude. It's tall. It's not
It's
big.
tall,
it's
but
tall.
it's not big.
It's not big. It's not
Yeah,
clunky or
taller.
cumbersome. It's
Yeah.
tall. Like,
Yeah.
and it is tall. Like using the Joy-Con,
But
that
I
whole
like the
Joy-Con
tall.
fits in your hand now.
Yeah,
I must
like it,
maybe
though.
I have little hands or something because, like, I definitely do not like holding the Switch 2 like stuff.
I have a pretty.
I need a
pretty
grip.
decent sized hands.
I need a grip. I'm investing tens of dozens of dollars into every grip option I can find because I don't like holding it as
Yeah.
it
Yeah, what
is
was that grip that
stock.
you had in the Discord today? I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, so that's the Raven company, Savage, whatever they're called. What are they called these days? Savage Raven. They used to be
Okay.
called Skull and Co.
okay, yeah,
This is the stand grip. So this is like a
Okay.
wraparound
yeah, just
thing.
boop, pops in.
Yeah, and it stands up on its own, which is why they call it stand grip. So it does have the grips. You can hold it. It does not, unfortunately, it does not sit in the dock like this. It's too big. But the reason I got it, I was like between this or getting like another like big zipper carrying case thing, you know?
Yeah.
This you can buy with this,
Oh, nice.
Which I like.
and it has a
I like that.
faceplate. Check
Oh,
this
that's
out.
fantastic.
It just wraps around. So you just have this little push. You just push down on that, and it snaps on. And now it's like plastic.
That's fucking
now
tight.
you could just throw it in a bag.
Yeah.
I may buy that
So-
for my son.
I really like, and it's cheap, 25
Yeah.
bucks.
And then what you're saying too is that then to not have to carry another case.
To
'Cause I'm
to not have to carry a
little
case in
flat
my
shield
backpack. I gotta
is
put the case.
easy to just set to
Yeah.
the side, hold it on your lap. Like who fucking cares? It's just like
I like
easy.
this a lot. This faceplate
That's
cover
cool.
thing. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have ordered like I was just telling Ray and Rob about this. I have these now. These grips just came in today. These are Joy-Con grips
Okay.
to slide the Joy-Con in. These are fine. They're good. If I didn't have the grip, I think I'd be like, I love them. But I have this grip, and I'm like, they're not as good as the grip though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, I bought them, and I'm probably not even gonna use. I'm probably just gonna put them in a drawer and never use them
Yeah.
again.
And I do want to say that my not want for owning a Switch right now a Switch 2 has nothing to do with
You don't
like
have to
the
defend yourself.
no, but
Yeah,
you know,
you
I
do.
don't want,
He
but I
has
don't
to
want
defend
people out here
himself.
thinking we're supposed to be
fuck
talking
that.
we're supposed to be talking games and shit. No, but
Suck
it's
a
not.
dick, Chaufie.
It's not one of those things where people are like, where I'm not echoing the same things that other people are saying, like it sucks. Fuck. Nah, it's not even that. I also don't play enough Nintendo stuff that I'm not a big Zelda person. I'm playing like the Okami HD remake and the
wow.
the F1 game that you put me on like a few years ago. Like I went
New
back
Star?
and
New Star?
yeah, is that the
That game
like,
is the
New Star
shit.
Grand Prix.
the Polygon?
New Star
Yeah, that
Grand
one.
Prix,
It's
yeah.
fantastic. And
So
so,
good.
yeah,
I need
so
them to just do that, but with the F1 license, and we're good.
out of this
We
world.
never have to make
Hell yeah.
another F1 game ever again. Just do
Seriously.
that.
But everything about it, the gameplay, like like it's
very
fucking
good.
good. And it's
On
even-
Switch 2,
Yeah.
it runs full resolution, 60 FPS. They patched it.
Yeah.
So it's just unlocked and free to go. What are you playing it on?
the OLED.
Okay, yeah. Well, you're running at 30. It's still fine there, but
Yeah.
it sings. That game sings on Switch 2.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
my holdout is gonna be when Metroid comes out. Then
Sure.
I'll make the
Makes
jump.
sense.
That's
Okay.
because when I saw the comparisons of what it looks like on the OLED versus what it looks like on the Switch 2, it was like, oh, that's a significant difference. With like when they were showing like the fire and elements and things like that, and I was like, oh
Hang
yeah,
on.
that's way
Hang on.
different.
There's been a lot on this, so I just need to clarify. There is a very vocal group that think that OLED or nothing. They only want an OLED, and they hate that the Switch doesn't even have an OLED. Like, they hate it. I've seen posts with pictures and comparisons of those groups that really don't do the Switch 2's display justice. So I'm not saying that's what you've seen. I'm just
Yeah.
letting you know that if you really want a good OLED to switch to comparison, like go to a channel that does those comparisons. I wouldn't be looking at like any OLED like fanboys post on Twitter
Yeah.
and making that
No, this was on when Nintendo themselves did their
good, very
side by
good.
side.
Very, very,
Where
very
they
good.
did their
Okay.
side by side, and they were like, "Oh, you could still play." the new
Because yeah,
Metroid.
everybody is saying lots of things about the display, and it is not as vibrant as the OLED. It, however, is brighter than the OLED. Like the whole display is just brighter. It has really good color accuracy. Like it's very vibrant, very saturated. In fact, often I take pictures of my screen and stuff share all the time, and people are always yelling at me my colors are oversaturated. They're always telling me turn everything down. The Switch 2 screen is, I mean, I don't know. At this point, I feel like I have a bias because everybody hates it, but
Yeah.
I
like
love this style of screen and have before the Switch 2 ever released. So our listeners know that that's just me. For whatever reason, I like these screens. I love these LCD screens. I'm addicted to VRR and a high refresh rate. Once you start using it, it really hurts to go back. Like you'll notice, you're like, oh God. So like, yeah, I would much rather, I'll take this screen over a non-VRR OLED every day.
Yeah, and that's what I've heard. Like as a huge positive is just that like what this screen offers is super fucking clean. Like
It
just
is. It's
really,
just
really
super.
nice.
It's super crisp, very sharp. I think it's very colorful. It is a little. I would say it's on the colder side. It's not a. It's not a warm panel. Like it's a cold display, so it's a very bluish. Bluish, grayish, whitish,
Yeah.
not orange, pink. But you play. You play Breath of the Wild at sunset on this motherfucker, and it'll blow your mind. Like it is very nice. I like it a lot, and I'm never gonna let. I don't care what people say. I'm going to keep speaking my truth. That's my experience. I've used it and I love it. I'm just going to keep saying that.
Yeah,
You
in
know.
due time I'll get it for sure.
It's got slow response time. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, but going back to what I was saying earlier, like I've just been slow on buying new things. Like
That's cool.
not on the Switch. Like
Sean's in the chat. Sean took an entire year off of buying
Yes.
games, and it was genius. Like I told him last Sweet Hangs, like he's way ahead of the curve.
and to really give credit where credit's due, that's actually why I started doing this.
Nice.
Because I was like, I'm just getting a stack of games. It's the FOMO that's getting me.
You can't play them all.
And I can't play them all. And now it's just like I feel like I'm having less time to play because I'm just doing other shit. And so it's like the stack is just getting larger. And then I'm getting like sweet deals. Like
That's
picked
it.
up like Jedi
So
Survivor.
if you take a gap year,
Yeah.
you'll save a shit ton. You're talking thousands.
That
of
is
dollars.
true.
If you buy a game a month, you're saving hundreds of dollars a year if you just take one gap year.
Well, like, okay, so what's on my list? Finishing Destiny, then going to go into the Jedi Survivor, the second one. I picked that up for I want to say less than $20 a while back.
Nice. Yeah.
And then I just picked up the Star Wars one, Outriders.
Outlaws.
Pick that one up.
Delvin's favorite.
Honestly, that one
Love it.
too. I got it for less than $20 as well. Both of
Sure.
those are like on my to do, and then after that, that's when I want to. I really
Those are
love
big games.
Death Stranding, and I love
After
the
that, I'd be like, "We'll see you next year." Those are big games,
Right.
dude.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, round them up. I paid $40 for these two games that are gonna get me like a good amount of playtime. I'm all right.
It's a good
Right
price.
before that, I played like Alan Wake 2 and all the DLC, and that like definitive edition type disc. I want to say that one was only like
You
20
didn't have to
bucks.
that one.
So it was just like, fuck yeah. So
You could have skipped that one.
no, man, it was so good. The fuck you talking about?
I'll wait 2
They're
times.
Alan Wake people. They love it.
I could not finish the first Alan Wake, but the second one was like right up my
I
alley.
could not finish the second Alan Wake. I'm like, this is
Well, let me ask you this.
I
Hold
always
on,
point out, like the games media folks that I follow, like the big influencers channels, Jeff and the Giant Bonfa, they fucking love that game. Like over the moon about it. And the customer reaction, like the Steam reviews, the global score was not nearly as high, and it didn't nearly do much like afterwards. So like, and I found this with Blueprints too. That also, I think, seemed to be the case. And I wonder, like, if there's something, I just wonder if there's a correlation there. Like, if you get, like, the type of person that likes this so much that goes and does this for a living has a tendency to like these sorts of games.
Yeah.
'cause I think there's a pattern there.
Because that would be, I would liken it to people who love big blockbusters and people who like indie movies. They could be the same, but a lot of times they're not the same crowd. Because it wasn't just a couple months ago that Alan Wake like barely broke even or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but I also want to toss this out because Delvin said he didn't finish it. I'm like, how many games do you finish?
None.
Oh, quite a few.
Lying.
They take a
Bonafide
while,
lie.
but I finished quite a few. I finished Tears of the Kingdom.
What's the ratio of how many you start versus how many you finish?
I think that's for everybody. I don't think anybody's has a high count on that
25%,
one.
I'd probably say.
Mine's lower than that.
I tend to finish.
Mine's
and
way
I,
lower
and I
than
know
that.
I'm in the smaller population.
I'm probably
but if I
in
start a
single
game,
digits.
then I'll finish it. Yeah, it's like me and like 4 other people.
If you're at 25%, I'm at like 7%. I'm not gonna lie. I gave up on this a long time ago. I've been like a stickler for this at PSVG.
See,
I don't have to finish games to feel accomplishment at all.
Yeah,
I think the
I think
difference
it's
with me is I'll buy a game and just won't start it more than just not finish it.
yeah.
Like, I just want to have time to see it. See, when I play a game and I get into it, I'll finish it. But I got
again,
to
that
keep playing it first.
That goes back to what I was saying. Like that's why I haven't like really jumped into buying a bunch of stuff because it's like I probably wasn't going to start it, or I want to start things that I want to finish, and so there's a bunch of shit that I'm just like I probably won't
Just
do
play
it.
what, I'm a big fan. Dude, you play whatever the fuck it is you want to play.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
for
ever,
that-
I think the moment you feel like, oh, I have
there's
to keep
D-Life.
playing this.
Life.
D-Life, we noticed that you were missing and almost called your cell phone.
He was about to pick up
Berate
the
you
phone
about-
and call you.
To berate you about Xbox.
But yeah, like if you ever get to the point where you're like, I have to keep playing this before I can play something else, I think you need to let go of the controller.
Yeah, because there's because that's a bad relationship right there.
Yeah,
And
like, it's too
that's what
far.
happened
Just-
with Alan Wake. That's exactly what happened with Alan Wake too. I was playing it like, I have to finish. Like, no, I don't. I heard
Yeah, you
Dev's
don't.
like voice in my head.
don't.
No, you don't. And I was not enjoying where I was at. Like, this fucking
Yeah,
sucks.
'cause
So
if
for
you're not
me,
into it,
it's
no.
I beat games, and when I beat them, I think it's just more of a testament to how much I enjoyed that game that I kept playing.
Yeah,
You know, like I like this game so much that I just kept playing it versus picking up something new.
Yeah. All right. Donnie, have you played anything this week? What you want to talk about?
I beat Breath of the Wild. I mentioned to you and Shaq how close I was. I was cleaning up all the Zelda notes memories, and my last section was the castle. And one of the memories is in the throne room. And I was like, well, I mean, if I'm going to walk in, you know,
Might as well.
yeah, I'm already here, and might as well. So I did. It's a shame Dev's not here because I do have a question for him. I'll just talk about it now, and then he can tell me later. So I wanted to get some headphones for Switch 2. I think the Switch 2 speakers are fine. They're just not loud enough. I would like them to be louder.
Okay.
Like the sound quality is very good. I would just like them to be louder. So I think, like all of us, I've got a bunch of headsets around. Like I can plug in any pair of headphones. But I was thinking, I should maybe try to get like some Switch 2 headphones, like something because I'm
Isn't
about
the
to
Switch
travel.
2
Like,
Bluetooth, if I remember correctly?
yeah, I could put in my AirPods or whatever.
I was going to say, just use some Beats.
I don't have Beats. I don't have AirPods either. I have the Sony, whatever,
I have,
super
like,
headphones, whatever.
4 or 5 pair of AirPods just around. I'd send it to you.
Okay.
Let me
I was
check
looking
for it.
around. Like I really
Clean them
like.
off, probably.
I really like noise cancellation stuff. I like that kind of that isolated feeling that you get.
it adds
So
to the
I-
immersiveness.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm going on vacation soon. I'm planning to take my Switch with me. That's why I wanted the grip. And I was like, I should probably just maybe like get a pair of headphones just to keep with the Switch stuff. Like when I leave, I can just take those. So I started looking around, and one thing, I'm not an audiophile. Clearly, as you can tell, I have my Kirby headphones, is cheap Powerade shit and stuff. So I was just thinking to myself, I was like, I like noise cancellation, but when you look for noise cancellation headphones, like they're almost all Bluetooth. I was like, do they just not make like wired noise canceling headphones? And like they really don't. Like the answer is like, yeah, they really don't. There are like a handful of products like Asus or ROG Ally has like some gaming wired headphones that have noise cancellation like earbuds. The reviews on those are like very mixed. I think Bose had like a set like years ago that you could like plug in. And I don't know why I was fixated on a wired pair. I think it's just, like with the Bluetooth headphones, like, you got to charge the headphones. What if I use them with my phone? Now I'm hopping between devices. When I turn them on, does it connect to the Switch? Like, these are all things I don't really particularly want to deal with. They're not that big of a deal. When I play my Switch, I'd rather just plug in. Like, to me, it's just, I am still very much that guy. Like, that's the old man in me. Like, even at work, people are like, oh, we got a click share. We've got I'm like, can I just plug in a fucking cable? Like, it always works. Can I just plug in a damn cable? I never realized that we looked at plugging in cables like a problem that needed to be solved. We're like, you know what? This is really bad. Like, we got to plug in this cable. So anyway, long story short, I'm really getting off the beaten path. I bought these Sony headphones that I found. They're made for like airplane travel. They have noise canceling, but it's not like AirPod noise canceling. It's not going to like tune out the world. It's meant to like tune out like the ambient noise of like an airplane, like that droning background.
Yes.
You're not hearing the whooshing. You're not hearing the.
Yeah, they're not. I don't have them next to me. They look like standard Sony cheap. They're not expensive. I got them for like $7. It was just great. Like, they're super cheap.
Oh, fucking tight.
Like, brand new. They're like $20. And mine are new. I just had a Amazon like return refund credit. I plugged them to the Switch, started playing. So when you just turn them on, they're just like standard headphones. They're not particularly good ones. Like, they don't particularly sound very good at all. But the headphone, you put a battery in. That's how it works. There's a battery, like a AAA battery.
Okay, that's what makes it active.
Yeah, and you just flip the switch. And when I flip the switch on these headphones, and I'm not going to oversell. They're definitely not the greatest headphones I've ever had. I'm not trying to say that. The experience of flipping that switch, though, was something that, like, I wasn't ready for. It's almost like somewhat hard to describe. It definitely, like, I was testing it, right? So, like, I turned on, like, the water faucet in the bathroom, and I put, like, a TV show on, and I turned it on. I can still hear all that stuff. It definitely minimizes it, but I can hear it. Mm-hmm. But the sound that comes through the headphone, like, the only word I can tell you is amplified, but it's not the right word. Like, it's more than just louder.
Yeah,
it's almost like
sharper.
It's almost like glasses for your ears. Like, everything became enhanced. Well, like, the ambient noise became enhanced. Like, it was more than just the music and the direct audio. The background, like the surrounding, like everything became much clearer. And I was like, holy shit, it's actually kind of nice. Yeah, and I played Breath of the Wild like that for like a day, like the whole day just stuck in those headphones. So maybe Dev can tell me what it is about that. I've never had a pair of headphones or anything that could do that. Like, the difference between that switch being off and on was massive. It was like the difference between having, a pair of earbuds that come with your phone or, like a nice pair of headphones, like just that one click. I was like, holy crap.
The noise cancellation where it cancels everything out, and you just hear it's really good.
Yeah.
Beats do that.
It's immersive. Yeah. Like, it was just like I kind of settled into that sound. I was like, oh, wow. Yeah. That's nice. So,
yeah, because going what Delvin was saying, I think the over the ear beats do it, and it's like it's weird.
Yeah,
it's
weird.
Not like how when you use like the AirPod Pros, you feel like you're going into a pressurized room.
Yeah, like a vacuum. It's like
then that changes the sound. Whereas these, they just
and it's
do
weird because
different.
I
but
could
it's not
hear
more muffled or more bassy.
I could hear the TV if I focused on the TV.
Yeah.
But if I was playing the game, it's like it just is in the background. It's like it's so low, it's easy to ignore it.
Yeah.
Right? But like it's there. If I really wanted to hear it, I could hear it. I don't know. It was just a weird experience. I've never had anything like that with. Yeah. Anyway.
And especially if it costs you less than fucking, what did you say, $7? I mean,
yeah, I paid $7 for these. And I think they're like the Amazon listing. I think they were like $17.99 or $19.99. They're cheap headphones. And like I said, they're not better. If you've got like great Bose, Beats, whatever pros, they're not that good.
Yeah,
they're not. I'm just telling you, for $20, I was impressed. Like,
they're
I was
good
like,
enough.
These are nice. I definitely enjoyed it.
Now, to go back to your comment about like the wired and like not knowing it was a problem, I fully agree with you. Like, it's just like it was never a big issue. Now, I don't know about out there by you.
Was like, I can't stand these cords.
Yeah, except for when they got all twisted up. I mean, that was the only time. Other than that, it's like fucking I love
Better than
the
trying
stability.
to find your left earbud.
Yeah, when
or
it fucking pops
carry
out.
that little case around or anything.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I don't know.
But out here, wired headphones are like truly like they have made a big comeback, like big time.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. So I was wondering if it's like that out by
No,
you
my
guys,
kids,
especially with like younger
my
people.
kids and everything, they all went. Yeah, no, they don't. They laugh at me for having
Yeah.
wired anything.
Because I started noticing a lot of the students with wired headphones, and I was like, "Oh, you don't want like AirPods?" It's like you lose them; they don't sound great. Like they had valid points. They were just like, "I can buy a pack of wired earbuds, and that sound a lot better, and I could lose them, break
I play
them."
wired. I have wired controller on PC. I got so sick and tired of between because I play games across launchers, right? I have the Xbox launcher, I've got Steam. I kept running into controller issues swapping across those ecosystems. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just plug it in. Guess what? Never thought of it since. Never thought about it since I plugged it in. I've never thought about it since. It's been years. It's been maybe 2 or 3 years since the last time I played without it plugged in.
It's like,
now I have
where's the problem now?
Now I have one single issue once I plugged it in.
Zero.
But the first time, or like when I was Bluetooth, I'd hit the guide button, and then Steam Big Picture mode would start, or then I'd press it, and then the Xbox would take a screenshot. I'm like, God, can you all just like universally figure out what it is a controller does on PC and call it a day? Why do you all have different fucking things? But yeah, plugged it in, no problem. I can freely go across browsers, never run into an issue. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't think I understand it myself. But that was an issue that I had. All right. The only other game thing I want to talk about, since I beat Breath of the Wild, I'm kind of in between games. We got Bonanza coming out soon. I was like, to be honest with you, I wanted to play my golf game, but South of Midnight came out and I never played it. And the reviews kind of, I think, dampened like my enthusiasm for the game.
They were like 7s.
Yeah, and I was just like, now I'm in a really good spot. Like, let's at least take it for a spin. So I played 5 chapters of South of Midnight. I have no idea how long that is. A couple hours.
That's a good.
But it was a good bit. I played
because it's not a long game either, right?
I don't think so. And I think the reviews are fine. I have got no major thing to say either way. I think I mostly agree with it. I have already uninstalled the game. Like after that one session, I was like, I don't want to keep playing this. My review of the game, love the art style. Love the world they're creating. The art style is beautiful game. Very beautiful. Really like it. Big disappointment, like kind of wish there was more game to go with this beautiful world and art style and characters. But I have like one
assessment.
I have one nitpick, like one bone to pick with it, and it's really not the game, it's the reception the game had. The lead up for this game and then after, I heard tons of people comparing this game to like Kenna, a game I love. Like I was all about it, right? And if you just Google South of Midnight, you'll see that often, or you'll see it referenced in reviews, or if not, just next to it. And then like watching the game, I kind of knew what we were getting into. Like it was I was thinking it's an action adventure game with these like a little, heavy melee attack, light melee attack, some magic spells, stuff we've done before. What I did not expect, and again, kind of wish Dev was here, because Dev wanted to play this too, and he hasn't. And now that I've played it, I don't think Dev would like this at all. Maybe he'll surprise me and love it, but to me, this is just a platformer. And I'm like surprised that more people aren't calling it that. Like when I play the game, it feels way more like the Gunk or Alice. You remember the Alice in Wonderland, Alice Madness,
Yes, it does
Madness
feel like
Returns, or Crash Bandicoot. It's like a Crash Bandicoot game. A
That
lot.
is very
like
accurate.
a lot.
Wait,
so
does the character spin?
Sometimes, like some attacks.
Yeah, I've played something like they do. I think the thing about it is, I don't know if you know this, Donnie, you can turn off the combat in the game.
I did not know that. The combat is somewhat middling. But that aside, I don't know. I was thinking about this way too much. And I was like, wait a minute. Why does everyone keep calling this like an action game? Like it's clearly a platformer. Like you just do a shit ton of platforming. Maybe I didn't play it long enough to see more combat, but like what I played through my first 5 chapters was like 87% platformer. just jumping across branches, gliding across cars, wall running on signs, climbing a tree. Like, it was just mostly platforming.
Yeah,
and the game.
I'm looking at a
don't know.
section right now, and because I had never, aside from like the initial trailers, I had never really like watched any of the gameplay, and literally, because you said like Crash Bandicoot, and the character is running like
It's Crash
through
Bandicoot.
like a bridge.
And here's
it's just,
why.
like, and jumping and just leaping over gaps.
Oh, hang on. I want to let Devin
This
say
is
what he's
Crash
gonna say.
Bandicoot.
Yeah, for those, because I play South Midnight. I play a lot of South Midnight. What the game is you have like you basically do a lot of platforming. Then you can walk up to a small combat
Yeah, like
section,
in a little arena and beat up people.
a little arena. You beat that arena. You keep going, do a lot of
That's what's
platforming
happening
and puzzle
here, little
solving,
arena.
and then you get a boss battle and also another arena type thing.
Right.
And that's the game. But the
That's
game
the
is
game.
mostly platforming with boss battles and arena battles in between.
Here's why I say Crash Bandicoot, because I felt like when I was playing the game and coming to this conclusion of mine, whether people agree or don't, the reason I say Crash Bandicoot over other things is South of Midnight's incredibly linear. Not just like you progress forward, like literally the only direction the game really ever really truly sends you is forward. Like you're just kind of running forward. There's not sometimes there's like a little bit here, but not a lot. Not really. Like there's not spaces to explore like Kenna. Things to find over like every now and again they're like, here's a thing behind that house. But like there's not rows and rows of other houses.
Yeah,
Yes.
because
Like,
Kenna
it is-
was like over, under, through. Like
Yeah,
you had
like
to
this is
search.
incredibly linear. It's like just go forward. And I was like, dude, it's just Crash. And when I started thinking about these style of games, when I think of Crash Bandicoot and these style of games, I think of Crash and KO and all of these kind of old platformers. And what kind of settled in my mind, I don't think we've ever really had a game like that starring like humanoid characters.
Yeah.
They're always like mascot platformers.
Yes.
Like, like characters.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, I was like, I wonder if that's why. Because when this game came out, I always kept getting lots of things like Darksiders, like Kenna, that sort of thing. And I was like, this is way more like Pumpkin Jack
I would
than
say
that.
I thought of it like an older PS3 type game. Like you
Oh,
have
it's definitely it's definitely
Yeah.
more it's old school like that.
Because I was
for
like,
sure.
sure.
is this like, what was that one? Medieval?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Medieval's
Yeah,
much more open.
Yeah, it has areas that you can be open, and it has secret areas and stuff like that. But you can tell this was made by a small studio, and that's nothing wrong with that. But,
Medieval has way more left and right walk around. Like you explore the space. So does Pumpkin Jack, for that matter. Like this game is really just kind of like just keep moving all.
I
across
kind
the
of feel
things
like
forward.
it feels more like an earlier Jack and Dexter game.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's a more accurate representation of it. It's like
So I
an
just
earlier
felt like
Jack-
I honestly, I just felt like I had an incorrect expectation. Like my expectation was diverted when I played it. I was like, oh, this is not what I was expecting at all. I'm not even saying that's good or bad. Now, having said all that, after I played it for a couple hours, I was like, I don't need to keep doing this. Like, I'm good. There's just not enough more. Like, I just wish there was more to it. Like, I kind of felt like I played a couple hours. Like, I get it. Like, I see exactly what this is. I don't need to keep playing it. I'm not this invested into the character or the story to see the finish. Like, I'm just like, okay.
Did you
moving
get
on.
to any of the boss battles?
Yep.
So it's like you got the feel, the flavor of
People
it.
are
It's like,
comparing
okay.
this to Hellblade.
No, not even close.
It's not even close. Like they're not even remotely similar, or like Tomb Raider. Nothing like that for sure. Not even on a small scale like an old Tomb Raider.
No.
Not even like that.
I think the story is very good. I think the story adds a lot to it. I think some of the boss battles are really cool and unique.
I don't think the story is very good. I think the story is unique. I think it offers a different perspective, but I don't think they do a very good job with it. Personally,
I like how they do the story. It kind of feels like a living storybook. I think there's more they could have added to it, but
the music really took me out.
oh, you know,
I was climbing that tree, and I got that Banjo Jim song that started playing, and he sounded like I was like, no, I'm not going to keep doing this.
See, that's what it is. I think the music adds to it, but you have to get into the whole feel of it. I think Death Stranding does that too a little bit, where you have certain elements of it. It adds a certain musical note or a musical key that's supposed to build up the story. And when it's done correctly, it adds to it. Me and Chaufie were talking about this on Cadillac. When it's done correctly, it adds to the story and the feel of the game.
I love, yeah.
And I think Compulsion
games
is hit or miss for that sometimes.
Well, I think for me, South of Midnight is mostly a miss. I'm not saying it's awful. I think it's a fine video game.
Well,
There's nothing really wrong
then.
with it.
Do you like it more than We the Happy Few?
Oh, of course. That game was just broken.
Yeah. That game
was
so rough to play.
But that game had more game to it, and that's why it was broken. But at least that game had ambition. They were trying to do something there.
Yeah.
This game was like, I question. Look, I'm not a video game. None of us are fucking video game developers. I always hate when I say these things, but having played it, I'm like, what took so long? Did you just do the art for because you see it there, but you don't see it anywhere else.
Yeah, because the game was beautiful, and so
it is really beautiful. Yeah,
it's really
I love the style.
When
the gameplay is simplistic. That's the thing. The gameplay is really simplistic.
And even then, I don't think that's actually you're right. But if somebody hears that, I don't think they realize how simple. It's more than just that.
That's why I say it feels like
it's incredibly basic.
Feels like a PS3 game, like an early Jackson Dexter's game.
Yeah. No, you're spot on. All right, so anyway, I don't want to talk about it any longer. I went to the movies. I saw 20 Years Later, of course, and then this past weekend I saw F1.
Okay. How was F1?
Loved it. Loved both. F1 is everything. F1 is everything. I thought it just blew away all of my expectations. I literally was expected to go in and seeing a dumb movie. It's way better than that. It's way more entertaining than that. Is it a great movie? Absolutely not. Is it a very entertaining movie? Yes. It lands the F1 side of it. Incredible. Good job. Great. F1 is a lot of fun. It is. You guys see Draft Day?
Yeah, I've seen Draft Day.
It's Draft Day, but F1. It is the same. It's Rocky. It's Rocky, but with cars. And that's cool. That works. There's the old guy. He comes back. The young guy. Yeah, it's Rocky, but with cars. It's totally fine. They really ham up some of the F1 stuff. And some of it, they really go out of the way to explain to people. My wife was like, why are they explaining that? I was like, you have to remember that a lot of people be watching this have never seen F1 before. You have. And we had a really great theater experience. We went to what I call our fancy theater. It's a little further out of the way, but they just have a nicer theater. And then they have IMAX, but they call it the Extreme Screen. And I saw it on the Extreme Screen opening day. And what was really fun about the movie experience was that there were a ton of F1 fans there. The theater was packed. Everybody had their gear on, their livery. When Lewis came on, people cheered. When Max came on, people cheered or booed. Everybody was reacting in real time to it, like a sporting event. It was super fun.
That's
my
really,
wife,
really cool.
That's great.
And Jack went, and Jack loved it. Jack was it was so fun. Jack's an interesting guy. We got out of it, and I was like, how'd you like it? I was like, I loved it a lot. He goes, it's no Ford versus Ferrari. I was like, one of the greatest movies in sports racing. Yeah, you're right. It's not that.
Yeah.
I was like, was that your expectation?
Yeah.
Yes.
That it would be better than that? It's not. That's crazy.
Okay, that's a no duh. I just asked if you like this.
My response was did you ever see Driven? Because this is way better than Driven. Driven sucked.
I was excited for it because Damson Idris is in the movie, and from what I saw the previews of it, looks really, really good.
He's
an
great.
Excellent movie in general. He's a
great.
really good actor.
The thing that really sells the movie is some of the acting is hammy, some of it's cliche. Again, it's a sports movie, so I think that's totally fine. We are within the bounds of what you would expect. The thing that really sets the movie apart is the amount of footage that they've captured in real cars. With on real tracks, real cars, real racers. All the Carlos Sainz is there, Yuki's there, Max there, Lewis there. They're there. And if you guys didn't know this, they actually filmed this during a practice day on the track with them.
In real time.
It's real foot. They're really driving.
Were there they're the pit crews that are there are the pit crews that are there. Like
Right.
real stuff happened. Like there was.
So you know how like when you have a new console, like every new console loves to show off like a car game because it's real pretty to look at. Like you could capture like visuals. This movie is that. It's just a shit ton of car porn just thrown on the screen. Like it looks great. You'll get some of the best looks you've ever seen of classic tracks, cars, drivers. So like that's really what sets it apart.
Because I liked how the the official F1 podcasts have really they've been tying in a lot of the like the director. They had Brad Pitt on. They had a bunch of people going, and it was just neat how each one brought their own perspective, but really just showed how it was like there was one point where they were talking about how they were setting up a scene, and then all of a sudden like Carlos Sainz is in it, and they're just like, well, I guess he's in the movie now. Like, just this is just that they had to allow for things to happen. They're like, one, that's just how racing is. Like, someone might crash your interview without knowing. There's so many things happening at once
That's
that
true.
it just happens. Yeah. And so then it's like, because we've, when you watch F1, sometimes the interviews are happening while they're walking from location A to location B, not sitting in front of
the interview's happening while they're pushing the car out to the track.
Exactly. So stuff like that. But then all the camera work too, where they were like dismantling iPhones to create new cameras to like attach to portions of. I was like, this is fucking crazy.
I think Draft Day does a great job of capturing the sport on that day, what it's like in a room for a draft. Now, like, of course, they embellish with like their little pregnant storyline and stuff. Spoilers for anyone who didn't see Draft Day from 10 years ago. But, like the local radio and the fans and the pressure from the owner and kind of how these things all come together. That's what this movie does, but for F1. It puts you in the seat of a driver, and it's like he's going against this, and he's got to deal with this, and he's got to deal with that, and it just does that for the sport. So it just captures the sport very well. But I actually didn't even want to talk to you about that movie. The reason I mentioned it is I saw 2 trailers before that movie started that I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
And I almost regret doing this because I'm going to ask you superhero questions, and who knows when we'll get back to the actual show after this. But I saw 2 trailers for 2 superhero movies before. It's the first time I've seen the trailers for either.
Okay.
The first trailer was for the new Superman movie.
Looks good.
Does it? I thought it looked bad.
Same. I was
Looks
like,
good.
oh, this does not look good at all.
So I thought it looked bad. And then my second question, the question I have about it, how many more fucking times are we going to do this same Superman dance? I feel like I've seen 80 Superman movies of, this is Superman, he's an alien, here's his dad, and like oh, he's going to die. It's like the same movie over and over.
Let me explain to you why this one looks good as opposed to the other ones. Because the last Superman, I guess, duality of movies was Superman being darker and emo, and it didn't feel like who the character really is. And this feels closer to comic book Superman in terms of
but you know what I'm saying? It's comic book 1. We have retread this over.
The problem
over
with Superman is they keep fucking it up. So they're like, we're gonna get this fucking right. We haven't gotten it right since the 80s.
Story.
But I agree with what Donnie's saying, because it's like, what made the most recent Batman movies pop? We didn't have to hear the fucking origin story again.
Yeah,
that's a good part of it.
And I'm tired of the origin story.
Spider-Man pop? No more fucking origin story. Like, okay, I understand you're rebooting. Just fucking reboot.
Just reboot. Like just jump forward. Jump
I think
ahead.
what's gonna make this one different is the fact that they're adding other elements to the Superman story that we haven't really seen.
A dog?
That's a big part of the story. Like, we haven't seen.
I don't think so. It's just
Superman in turn. See, I don't know if we're going to tell the whole origin story. I hope they don't.
Wonder
go through the whole
Dog.
origin story.
But this goes back to the F1 Donnie point. Like, yes, I understand like having to retell portions so that the audience understands, but for the general audience,
I think we all know Superman.
We all know Superman.
We know.
And the majority of us, except for the fucking 10 nerds that are going to be in the theater, I don't give a fuck about the dog. Please give me a good story. I do not care about. I think
that's what they're doing with this one. This is Superman done by James Gunn.
I hope it's great.
James Gunn, thus far, when it comes to movies with superheroes in it, hasn't really let us down.
Okay.
He's done the Guardians movies. He did the only good Suicide Squad movie. So
That's true, and I do like James Gunn, but I was
and-
That's
less
valid.
than.
That's valid.
I
Yeah.
feel like this is going to have the same charm to it, even with the characters he's adding into it. Like he has the Green Lantern, but he has the Green Lantern that everybody fucking hates. like he had like different characters that you don't really know.
I didn't know there were multiple Green Lanterns.
Oh yeah.
There are
There's like
multiple.
Jesus
a
Christ.
whole, like one for every
There's an
fucking
army.
galaxy or something like that.
Yeah, that's the whole thing about the Green Lantern. The Green Lantern Corps. There's more than one Green Lantern. There's several. There are like hundreds and hundreds of them. There's Green Lanterns, Red Lanterns, Black Lanterns, all that. Doesn't matter. But he has.
cares about the lanterns.
Well, people care about the lanterns.
No, people don't.
Well, people
Person
care.
does. People don't.
No, people care about the lanterns.
All right, I'll take your word for
But-
it.
And I'm quite sure the second trailer you're going to talk about is the Fantastic Four.
Yes. So the reason I was going to bring that one up is I thought that one looked great.
Looks fun.
Like legit. I was like, this looks really good. Fresh would be like the word. Like it's a fresh superhero movie. For the first time, I felt that way in like what feels
know
like
what the funny
maybe
thing,
10
you know what the
years.
funny thing about it? The Fantastic Four also had multiple reboots.
Huh.
We've been getting the Fantastic Four since like the 80s.
So
Well, let me
Jack,
tell you, not as many as Superman.
that's fake.
It
Jack,
might be it's close.
Jack just recently bought a copy of the Fantastic Four, like comic book 1 or something on eBay. It was like in the last month or so. And he came to me and he was like, hey, I want to buy this comic. So I bought it for him. And I was making fun of him because I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know how unpopular it's going to be. I have always thought the Fantastic Four sucked.
And
Since
you're
like
correct.
since the playground, since like grade school, I was like, dude, these guys are trash. I've always just thought that. Can't defend it. It just always has been what it is. I've just
Well,
never been that
I
impressed with the Fantastic
I
Four.
can tell you why people like the Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four as characters are kind of boring, but their villains are fucking badass.
Yes.
Like Doctor Doom. All their villains are cool as fuck, but they
Well,
are
that's
corny
better
as
than
shit.
Alligator Man and Rhino Man and Tiger
The-
Man
the-
and
the
everything other.
The Fantastic Four truly are a vehicle for villains.
Yes,
They
their
do
villains
their
are
thing.
awesome.
So I was impressed because Jack I guess he's been into this kick before me, and then I saw the trailer and I was like, you know what? That legit. Even my wife turned around. She's like, that looks pretty good. And I was like, it does, doesn't it? Like, this looks like a really good, I don't want to say different, but like maybe a different take on a superhero movie. So I guess maybe we're going to go see, I'm probably not going to see it in theater, so don't get too excited, but I am going to watch the Fantastic Four one day. I will wait for good reviews on Superman before I ever give that a watch, because I don't know.
That's fair.
I was just bored by the trailer. I was like, again?
don't think-
Like, that was my reaction. I saw the guy and the dad, and I was like, again with this. Why do we have to keep doing
Frankly
this?
speaking, to me, Superman's a boring character. He's not my jam, but this looks interesting. Like even Fantastic Four and Superman are both characters I don't vibe with like that, but both of them look interesting
But
in
they've got
different
your
ways.
interest.
Yes,
All right.
and
All right.
I'm kind of rooting for Superman because Superman has had some fucking terrible movies.
But that is the truth, though. It's that he needs more flaws, So when you're just
Yeah, but
an
yeah,
invincible,
it's hard to book. It's hard to book them. Like, that was the issue. Like, we've run into this with wrestling characters all the time. When you get so popular, when you can't lose, it's hard to book Goldberg.
Yes,
He does
that's the
one
problem.
thing.
He is Goldberg.
He shows
Superman
up,
is Goldberg.
spears everything, wins, and leaves. Like, that's the whole
Yeah.
shtick.
and so then
like,
it's like, because you
Superman can fly so fast. He's faster than the Flash. He's stronger than Batman. He's got laser eyes. He beat up Wonder Woman. It's like,
Yeah.
so what's the point?
yeah, exactly. And so that's where it's like,
Oh, well, if he
And-
gets
and we-
these
and we
green
all-
rocks, he suddenly sucks.
Right.
Like, that's pretty fucking lame.
yeah,
like,
it
not gonna lie to you, it's
really,
pretty
really
lame.
is. Green is what takes you. Okay, cool.
Emeralds, man. They really
Alright.
fuck this guy up.
To
Yeah.
answer our question that we had earlier, there has been 4 Fantastic Four movies, 7 Superman movies. So they're
Yeah,
close.
I don't think I've ever seen a Fantastic Four movie. I don't think I've ever known that there was one.
Yeah.
But I've known Superman movies and watched a bunch of them.
Because what
And I'm
didn't
tired of hearing about his farm dad dying. Like, I
Didn't-
get it.
didn't Fantastic Four go head to head with Iron Man as like the superhero reboots at the time, and like Fantastic Four
Oh!
just
No
fucking
idea.
tanked?
I
Wasn't
have
that like
no
the same
idea.
window?
Then-
And that's when like Iron Man took off.
I
It
can
was
tell
like-
you right now, it was one of The last Fantastic Four movie was 2015.
You know what I need?
The
I need,
one you're
like-
talking about, Donnie, is not Chaufie. Is
I'm not
probably
talking
the
about any.
2000. Yeah, it's the 2005 one, which
I need a John Wick gang to come in and shoot Superman's dad in the face 10 seconds into the movie.
Yeah.
Then let's kick this off. Like, do something different.
Yeah.
Like just the trailer. Maybe this is wrong. Maybe it'll be 4 seseconds. They'll get past it. But the
You know what it
trailer
sound
was
like?
I've already seen that.
I hate to say it, you know what you probably need, Donnie? You probably need Injustice Superman.
I just want something new.
That might be up your speed.
It just felt tired. And I just wanted to ask you if I was the only one. Clearly, I think I am. Like, it seems like you superhero folks are like, let's do this again.
I don't think you're the only one. I think what's happening is
Superman intro story for the 12th time. Let's get
the
it.
message of it is mixed because there's this group of people who like the Zack Snyder Superman movies, so they just shit on everything that's not
But
that.
hang on. But I hope I'm making my point.
No, you're making your point very clear.
You realize that I don't care about who the director is, who the actor is. I'm talking about the trailer is showing the same Superman story.
I know, but what I'm telling you is, if you look at the internet's conversation about it, it's not about that. The conversation is people who like what they're seeing of this, and then there's people who hate on this because it's not Zack Snyder Superman.
So nobody cares that it's the same fucking thing.
Correct.
Nobody cares. Just me.
Because that's the same talk of like any like video game topic. You know, you like this, but did you ever play and did you ever know about and why didn't you try and how come and
I
the
guess
Steam
so.
Deck?
It'd just be like if Uncharted 1 just kept happening.
Yeah.
Like we never got to Uncharted 2 or 3. Like it just was Uncharted 1 again.
You mean
it was like a different train.
When they
or
keep
it was a different
The Last of Us
character.
They keep
Right,
remaking The Last of Us. That's what.
But they didn't call it a remake. That's what I feel like Superman, like it is a remake of the last one. It's just keep doing it.
So it's Superman Part 1.
At least they're telling you where they're like, oh, this is a remaster. This is a remake.
Right. Yeah, no, this is just
they're honest
this is
about it.
Superman.
This is like,
man,
didn't
you guys
Christopher
ever gonna
Reeves die? Why is he back?
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, superhero plug, if I was like, if anyone else was out there, like, can we ever get to like comic book 3 or 4 in this story, or are we just always going to stay here?
Like I said, the problem is comic book 1 doesn't usually do well, so we never get to 3 or 4.
So how about somebody just jump to 3 then?
Yeah.
See,
Quit
they did
doing
that.
this. This
They
is
did
insanity.
that.
There's enough scripts out
They did
there.
that. It's called Batman versus Superman. Everybody fucking hated it.
I liked it.
What the fuck?
I don't love it.
What the fuck is?
I didn't love it,
what
but
is
like
this shit?
I was more into that than this.
They did exactly what you said. Like, hey, let's jump to comic book 3. Like, let's go. Batman versus Superman. Like, people are like, what the fuck is this?
I mean, but in that one, they just
At least that was interesting.
They made both characters like super bitch made, where it was just like
Right? No. We all know why that movie failed.
How
but
did
at
you
least
learn my
it was-
mom's name? Like
At least it was interesting.
Yeah.
It was something
he
different.
was trying to
go
do something
see.
different for sure.
Yeah.
They tried.
Yeah. I wonder what. I need to know what Dev and Haley think. You guys, when you guys listen to this, let me know what you think about this. Am I the only one? I might be.
No, I
the
don't think you're the
only
only one.
No,
There's a
I
small
mean,
percentage.
then we are the only ones. You
It'd
and
be like
I.
if they showed us another Batman movie and dude was in an alley and we saw pearls and you ever dance with? They're like, dude, we
that's
we
happening.
know.
Yeah,
You know, it's that gif. We know.
yeah,
We know.
yes. Oh, he's going in an alley. Oh,
Uh-huh. There's his dad.
yeah.
Oh, they're grabbing the pearls.
Right.
There goes the gun.
Yeah. And then he wakes up. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
Let's not do that anymore.
You need
Anyway.
to know his motivation.
Delvin, any games or anything in your front?
I don't want to
before
talk
we
about
get
shit.
into
We've
the
been going
news?
for an hour. Let's get to the news.
We really have been going for an hour. And the sad part is we have a lot of news. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try to speed some of this up a little bit. Some of this is old. Last week, I want to say Friday, there was a Capcom showcase. It might have been Thursday. I think it was right after we recorded. Capcom Spotlight, where they had like their little direct and they showed stuff. They showed more of Pragmata, which is that like the Android game where you have like the Megan girl over your shoulder and kind of has like Death Stranding vibes, kind of. They talked about like looting and hacking and like shooting mechanic or shooting. No, sorry, not looting. Shooting mechanics, hacking, story details. It's interesting when this game was revealed at Summer Games Fest, and I was like reading the description and everything. I was kind of off of it. I still am. I'm not going to change that. But watching this gameplay detail gave me a better idea for the combat. And it's almost like I want to call it like Horizon-esque. If I was to draw like a comparison, like essentially, the girl, I forget her name, but the android girl that's with you, she has like scanning and hacking abilities. So, like,
Siri.
enemy pops on screen, you can scan them for weak points. Do a little hacking mini game where you like connect the dots or whatever. That disables the weak points, so you can attack the armor to like beat the enemy. That's like the gameplay. Like that's the mechanic of the loop. Interesting, unique. You know, like not something we do every day. Also, something like I also don't want to do though. Like, you know, I was thinking to myself, like if I had to play Doom and I had to scan the enemy to find the weak point and then do a mini game before I could shoot the enemy to get the armor off to kill the enemy, like that's a little bit more involved than I ever like kind of want.
Yeah, because sometimes I just want to fight.
Yeah, a beautiful game. Like I think it looks really good. Like game looks really nice. So I'm not rooting against it by any means. Just don't think it's for me. But for anybody else out there, maybe give it a look because it looks real good. Quality wise, it looks real good. It looks real nice.
Yeah, I think I saw this game a while back and it looked pretty cool, so I might try it.
It was unveiled like I think during COVID, like 2019, 2020 or something. And then
I think that's exactly when I saw it, like around that time. And I wish listed on like PlayStation like back then.
Gyoza says Donnie should check out Red Sun.
Nope.
Why are all of these universes of superheroes so devoid of any creativity? Well, that everything is Bluebird, Green Lantern, Pink Moon, Red Sun. Like, can anybody just have a damn name?
Red Sun, like child. Because what happens in the story, I'll give you a quick synopsis, not to get into it. Superman is, instead of going to the United States, he goes to Russia. And he becomes the agent of the communist Russia.
Okay.
And that's kind of the story. So it's a very different
Cold War Russia or like World War II
Correct.
Russia?
Correct. Cold War Russia.
So it's like espionage.
Kind of.
I'm fucking in. That sounds infinitely better than Cornfield Dad Dies Again.
And there's different versions of Batman and Wonder Woman who are very different from the
Love it
version that you see.
Love it. All in.
You might like it.
The next game that they showed
is there an animated like movie of this?
Yes, there is.
Okay. Do you own it in your Voodoo so I can watch it?
So yeah, maybe.
I think I do.
All right, I'm going to have to check it out.
Street Fighter 6 was next in their little showcase. The next character is coming out next week, I think, is Sagat. I think it's like this weekend.
Yeah, I think it's this weekend. Let's get to the good part, Donnie.
The good part is that along with the Sagat package, they have swimsuit DLC hitting.
Other packages, baby. Let's go.
Right on time. I didn't talk about it, but this is the game I've been playing on Switch this week after I beat Breath of the Wild. I've been playing Street Fighter 6 for the first time, going through all the little stories and all the little different modes. They have a motion control mode. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
Yes. I didn't
you can fight with motion controls?
Does it do like punching and shit?
Yes, I turned that immediately off.
It's more like waggle. Like you turn the thing and shake.
Yeah,
but I tried it.
It's on HBO Max, by the way, Red Sun.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, beach DLC. Cami swimsuits.
We all in.
My swimsuits. Yeah, I'm all in too. Like I'm here for it.
Chun-Li, let's go, baby.
Jiggle.
Mm-hmm. Chun-Li is getting a swimsuit, correct?
Turn the jiggle figures up to 10.
What?
Damn, he said the jizzle figure.
You just did the whole thing.
Both.
Damn.
Whoa.
Both. Let's go. Like that.
Yo.
That's what we talked about in the private chat. I can't.
Man, that's your
picture.
Chat. Relax.
They had a Resident Evil 9 breakdown where they really focused on that it's a return to horror. Comes out February 27th. They did a character breakdown of their new protagonist, Grace Ashcroft.
Mm-hmm.
The one that's going around that everybody's kind of talking about or writing about is they mentioned Leon, the lack of him not being there. And they said more or less that like they really wanted to make it scary again. And that Leon's character can't be running around a building all scared all the damn time. And I was like, that checks out. Like, nobody wants that.
Have you
so
watched
that makes
the
sense.
Resident Evil movies that's based off in the games? Like,
so it's set.
Scared of shit.
Resident Evil 9 Rec Room is set 30 years after the U.S. government deployed the sterilization missile to destroy Raccoon City and contain the T-virus. Resident Evil Rec Room is a eulogy to the many characters who were involved in that original outbreak, either lost their lives or were changed drastically as a result of it.
Ooh.
With March 2026 marking Resident Evil series 30-year anniversary. So it's all culminating together. So
they're going to tell us who's dead now? Like, we're going to find that Barry's finally dead and Jill's dead. Jill's a Jill sandwich
yeah,
and
but
all
it's
that
Fast
stuff.
and Furious. None of it makes sense. Like, yeah it's all whatever. Just like Brian. Everybody comes back. They showed Monster Hunter Wilds, which just got a new PC patch, which hopefully fixed it. I don't know. I don't really follow Monster Hunter these days. But they're adding DLC, which comes with new crafting, new mechanics, new gear, new all that stuff. The big one is new underwater battles. You can fight leviathans and shit underwater. So.
I don't think I want to do that.
They had a sizzle reel, which featured Capcom Fighting Collection 2, Onimusha 2, the new Onimusha game, and Kunitsugami.
Okay.
So that happened last week.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Wasn't bad. I liked the Resident Evil. I needed more of the details about Resident Evil than the trailer we got at Summer Games Fest. That trailer left me asking all kinds of questions. This filled in those gaps. So I was on board with Resident Evil anyway, but now I'm more hyped for it, more excited.
Yeah.
The next thing that we have on the docket is EA Sports College Basketball could be, or I guess more or less is. They more or less announced that it is coming back. So Electronic Arts EA teased the return of college basketball games with a new tweet on Twitter that read, "Bring the madness, let's run it back. College basketball, hashtag it's in the game." According to Matt Brown, who writes the blog called Extra Points, who I was sourcing constantly all year last year about the college football game, he has an inside with those studios. He says the game is scheduled to make its return in 2028. That's a long ass time.
Yeah, makes sense.
Why tweet about it?
I don't know about that part.
Y'all could have just kept doing that. Like, I don't know why I'm getting all excited about 2020. 2028's a minute from now.
Another year and a half or so.
Yeah, like 2028's a minute though. Yeah, like, that's a minute from now.
We're still roughly midway through 25. Like,
yeah,
slow down.
So I don't know.
Let me ask a question.
Okay.
I have a feeling that maybe NBA Live might be coming back too.
Okay.
And I think that might come back first.
I don't think that's a good idea, but sure.
I think they're working on. They're gonna have these be on the same engine. I can see that happening.
That's fine. I mean, hang on. I'll just keep going. Matt also reports the college licensing company. If you followed our NCAA news, you know that is an entity that pulled all the colleges together so they could negotiate these things on behalf of everyone. The CLC put out a request for a proposal to create a college basketball video game in November of 2024. According to the memo, 5 companies expressed formal interest and 3 submitted formal bids. It's been 16 years since NCAA 10 came out back in 2009, and EA hasn't released a basketball game since NBA Live 19 back in 2018.
Is that the one that even came out?
It was the one that came out and then got pulled.
Yeah, because what else?
I think maybe it was the one after it came out.
That's what I was trying to figure, because I think NBA Elite was the one that they just it came out. Oh, nope, it's not going out.
No, it didn't. Yeah. So 2K weighed in on the matter because it was going off. Everybody was doing EA in the chat and everything. 2K responded to a fan saying 2K should make the game. 2K responded with a tweet that read, "2K is the undisputed home of basketball gaming. We have a strong history with college hoops, and we are exploring exciting ways to bring athletes and schools to life." Classes in
suck
session.
My dick. Yeah, we're making this game.
So
you thought you had the advantage.
Yeah, so to your point where you were going, I'll touch back on that. Everybody was like, "Oh shit, 2K's making a basketball game too. We're gonna get double basketball games." I'm wondering if 2K's just gonna put college basketball in 2K.
They might.
Yeah, like obviously they could sell their own game. They could sell a separate game, but I don't know. Like they put the WNBA and stuff. Like I almost wonder if the play is to just add college to 2K.
Now that I think about it, I think they're gonna make it separate. I just thought about it. Yeah, they're gonna want the money from that. Like, hey, you buy this full game, you buy the full player packs from this game, and that's gonna be a separate whole revenue stream that you can add these players into your 2K. But no, it's gonna be a whole.
So 2K in the past has had like little modes where they feature like a school or 4 or 8, and I'm wondering if they're looking to just like go straight to the source.
Yeah,
they'll license directly with athletes, grab a couple schools, and like just do their own thing without doing all of it.
I think they're gonna do the whole thing.
All right.
I feel like They don't do that with WNBA because WNBA
I don't think there's a
probably,
big enough market for 2 college basketball games to be successful.
I don't think I agree, but I think most people will go to 2K,
I do too.
and I think they know that. They're
And
like,
I
hey,
also think that if they just included them in the game as like skins and jerseys and stuff as an additional mode, something else you can monetize, I think they can beat EA to the punch significantly.
that can work too.
Like if EA is 2028, 2K could be like 2027 though, 2026.
That can work too. But why sell one NBA game when you can sell 2 at the same time like Madden does?
What if they just raise the price?
That's
What if
option.
2K was just $100?
2K is already almost $100 anyway.
But what if the base game was $100, but you got the WNBA, the NBA, and college?
That could work.
That would sell big if you got a big bundle like that.
Yeah,
Because then you could think of it as like seasons.
They might do that anyway, though. They might be like,
now
hey,
you're playing basketball all year round as they're going like active.
they might do that anyway. They might do both. They might, hey, you can buy it separately or you can buy it together.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do, but it looks like college basketball is coming back. Can't be surprised after the financial success that was college football. But 2028, I don't know. Like, it just seems like a long time to make a big fuss.
Yeah.
2028.
I know EA's been trying to get back in basketball forever. I just know that the whole thing about EA was they just couldn't
We're
get
not
their
even gonna be on these
their
consoles in
basketball right.
2028.
Right.
We don't even know what the next consoles are.
Well, in 2028, we'll still be heavy on PS4, right?
We don't even know if we'll be here in 2028. Like, it's just so,
There's that.
It's so far out,
Probably not.
man.
Might not even be here at the end of the summer.
Right? Like, it's a long. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it just. I don't know. Bunch of hullabaloo. Today, Bandai had a showcase of their own where they showed off a new My Hero Academia game called All Justice. It's like a fighting game.
I know what that is. I'm all excited for that.
Looked like Kakarot to me.
Yeah, that's what My Hero Academia is, essentially.
Okay. Code Vein 2 was shown. Patapon, Toa and the Guardian of the Sacred Tree. That was an interesting looking game. Little Nightmares 3 was shown. Super Robot
great.
Wars Y. Dawn Walker got in there. They showed everybody's Hot Shots Golf. And that was cool. They showed a little bit more. Like, they showed Pac-Man. He plays Pac-Man. But what they really showed was the modes and the menus and like the courses that you can pick. Everything looks nice. But the big one that I wrote down, the one that I felt like I learned new things about, is they showed Shadow Labyrinth, which is that Pac-Man game that's coming out in a couple weeks.
Yes.
From the Amazon show, that weird dark Metroidvania Pac-Man game. That one's interesting. They talked about boss fights. They showed like this boss fight. They're calling the boss fights, see if you guys catch on to this one, G-hosts.
G-hosts.
Taking place of the role of the ghosts from Pac-Man. The G-hosts. So they've got the symbols of the ghosts, but they're not ghosts. Mm-hmm. There are. I did not expect this from this game at all. I pre-ordered it just because it's different, and I want to see what it's about. But in the Labyrinth game, like, you equip like skills, like, I don't know, like combos, like mechanics. So like one of the things that the character equipped was like a parry. He's like, I'm gonna go into this boss fight with a parry. So you can play that boss fight with a parry, or like a dodge, or a roll, or a stronger buff attack, and like you can kind of pick and choose how you want to tackle each situation. But this 100% legit looks like a get good, die a lot, get better type of game. I don't know how long I'm going to stick with something like this, but I'm gonna try it anyway. I'm gonna be there.
Looks cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna try it.
If anything, it's interesting. If nothing else, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting they're trying to do something weird and different with Pac-Man, so I'm here for it. Speaking of Pac-Man, they talked about this year is Pac-Man's 45th anniversary. And the reason you're seeing Pac-Man in this and in Hot Shots Golf and probably in Patapon is they're doing this whole make an impact Pac-Man, like make an impact with Pac-Man this year. So
Wow.
Get out there and play some Pac-Man.
Walk.
Okay. We've reached the news that I'm not particularly thrilled to talk about today, because this has been a bummer all day long. The title of the show is Xbox Got Xbox, and boy, did they Xbox today. We've been hearing about this for well over a week now. I saw reports come out early last week. I think we even talked about it on PSVG. There have been reports swirling around right now, for a week plus, that Microsoft was about to have layoffs. Well, today we started to see the ramifications of that as Microsoft has begun a layoff across the company, not just Xbox, across the company, that is expected to equal over 9,000 jobs, reportedly. How many of that ratio is Xbox or Microsoft Gaming still remains to be seen, but here's what we know so far. And I wrote these down as they came in from the sources that I saw them at. So starting with Bloomberg, and that'd be Jason Schreier. He said cuts at ZeniMax, Bethesda, and King. I believe King lost 20% of its staff. Bloomberg says the new MMORPG from ZeniMax, the makers of the Elder Scrolls Online, has been canceled. So that game that the ZeniMax is making has been canceled. Speaking of ZeniMax, the 18-year-old studio head, Matt Fuhrer, has left. He's also gone. Jason also reports many of Xbox's subsidiaries are being hit by layoffs, including Call of Duty. I saw Sledgehammer and Raven both had cuts. A big one. Big cuts happening at Forza Motorsport developer Turn 10, who lost nearly half of its staff.
Wow.
Half. The first report of this that I saw come in came from Jez. So Jez at Windows Central, he tweeted earlier in response to a fan, I think Perfect Dark is canceled, trying to get Microsoft to confirm. They did. Confirmed. Xbox has canceled Perfect Dark and other unannounced projects and has closed the Initiative Studio. Video Games Chronicle, VGC, says Rare's in-long development original IP Everwild has also been canceled. And more employees are likely to lose their jobs as part of a broader restructuring at Rare. Banjo-Kazooie creator and Sea of Thieves director Greg Mayles, Rare's most experienced and influential game designer, will leave the company after more than 35 years at Rare.
Wow.
The Verge, the Xbox user research team has lost half of its team. That team was in charge of developing like the developer portal and delivering developer tools. The family and child safety team, they were just like kind of like Xbox quality assurance, like experience type people, just making sure that your Xbox games on PC and everything else and consoles, they all kind of operated the same and worked the same. Like half that team's gone. I feel like it's important to also reflect that all of this has happened after Xbox, Microsoft Gaming just filed that they had $26 billion in net income and $70 billion in revenue for the March quarter. It's one of the most profitable companies on the index. Like I think it's 2. Like it's like the second or third largest company in the world. Phil Spencer had some remarks to address, so I'll just read them. To position gaming for enduring success and allow us to focus on strategic growth areas, we will end or decrease work in certain areas of the business and will follow Microsoft's lead in removing layers of management to increase agility and effectiveness. These changes come at a time when we have more players, more games, and more gaming hours than ever before. Our platform, hardware, and game roadmap have never looked stronger. The success we're seeing currently is based on tough decisions we've made previously, and we must make those choices now for continued success into the future. It's worth pointing out that the success, the incredible success that is the Xbox hardware team, has not had any cuts. They are moving right along.
Yeah.
So that's the news rundown. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that really sounded like a lot of like, we're great, fuck everyone else.
I'm not the guy who like touts Xbox or any console for that matter, but this is just like sad. Like,
It is sad. There's a lot of people
like,
today.
it's a lot of people who lost their jobs.
It's en masse.
Yeah,
It's a lot of people.
A lot of people that lost their jobs, probably lost their careers. It's just that, like I know we always say, there's other studios you can go work at, but that's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people to find new jobs.
Some of those people aren't going to. And as we watch the video game industry get smaller in some aspects and things like that, not many people are going to be able to find jobs in these places.
Yeah, because that's
I
what
think
I was
it
going to bring
particularly
up.
hurts the lead up into this. A lot of comments and past statements were made about like overlap between like Activision and Xbox, maybe like some disc pressing, some publishing houses in Europe. It really sounded for a moment before the news hit, like the lead into this sounded like it was managerial labor, but not like the creatives. They're literally shutting down studios left and right, getting rid of devs. Like, it's a blow.
You know, I think the first thing that came to my mind is when I saw this, is when they purchased Activision and how optimistic we were for those studios that we thought were going to die out to get a second chance at life. And it almost feels like they just prolonged the death penalty. It's like a stay of execution. Almost, because you're starting to see like, some of those studios are still around, but some of the studios aren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. Then other studios end up getting cut from Xbox. So as we got these new studios,
a lot of studios are not around. At this point.
Yeah. So it's like, wow.
I'm not particularly surprised by these cuts. I have issues with both the cuts at Rare and sorry, I was looking at Turn 10. And but Rare and Perfect Dark in particular. Like Perfect Dark has been in development hell for years. I've talked about that game ever since. Ever since announcement, gone missing, reappearance. We've covered every inch of Perfect Dark. I was very excited when it was announced to come back. They announced a whole studio. Like, there's going to be egg on his face. Remember, this is the quadruple A studio that Phil Spencer said that they were putting in Santa Monica. It was going to be like the best studio in the world. They've had nothing but issues ever since. I think they've had 3 or 4 different directors come through. The progress for the game was so bad that they enlisted Crystal Dynamics to work on it, which got sold. I'm sure that's not helping. All of that said, I can see all the reasons why you would be like, let's just cancel Perfect Dark. I get it. I'm not surprised that it got canceled. I think I'm disappointed because in my head, Perfect Dark is an IP that you don't just cancel. You find a way to get something through. You figure it out. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it had to be the initiative. Maybe you shop that project somewhere, maybe you reboot it, you do something else. But like the idea that you've spent, I think we've been covering Perfect Dark since announcement for like 6 or 7 years. The idea that you've spent that whole time doing all of this and have nothing to show. I mean, it's Scalebound all over again. Like you've shown it to people, promised to people, brought it back, showed them gameplay. You've gotten everyone like Perfect Dark's coming, and then you just cancel it. Perfect Dark, I guess what I'm trying to say is like in my head, I think Perfect Dark deserves better than that. Like the IP is better than that. I don't think
it's not a chance on a new game.
It's not Scalebound.
Like,
it's Perfect Dark.
Yeah,
it has a built-in advantage, built-in notoriety, and
it's not
recognizability.
What were we talking about earlier? Was it South of Midnight? It's not that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It's not that. Right.
It's not.
It's not these games.
It's got
100%.
history.
It's not Redfall.
It's got.
I'm talking about Perfect fucking Dark.
Like
it's a legit IP. You should really care about, and you should handle with more care than this.
Yeah, and it's not like the whole company has folded. So, kind of in what you're saying, it's like, so pivot to hand it off to a group who can complete it.
Dude, you should have shown, like, if it were me, I mean, easier said than done, right? But listen, they don't lack for resources. So there is no, like, you can't do it. If they were going to cancel that game and pull out studio, I 100% would have shown up with a remaster or a port, or I would have gone to one of these devs that are making like these boomer shooters, and I need a Perfect Dark boomer shooter. Like, show something. Yeah. Show something. Come up with something. Don't just be like, well, Perfect Dark's dead now. Like that, I don't know. That just doesn't sit right.
You know what
me.
this conversation reminds me of? The conversation that happened a few months ago about Blade. when Blade was in development hell and people was really mad, like, yeah, you have to get Blade right. You have to put out Blade. People want Blade. It's kind of saying to the Perfect Dark. Like,
we don't know. We don't know if Blade made it out of this. It was reported earlier it was canceled. That seems to be false. But I have yet to see today that I've yet to see a confirmation that it's still on.
Yeah.
And
certain things you have to get right.
The confirmation that we have got today was, I think, Matt Booty. I didn't see the exact quote. I think people are running with it, but maybe he said it on background. At some point around, the idea is out there that any of the games that Xbox recently showed in their showcase, they're all safe. So the Clockwork game and like all those, they're all safe. But Blade wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like Blade wasn't there. So like I was refreshing a lot today, being like, what's the deal with Blade? But because they did say they canceled other projects. We don't know what those are. We still haven't heard anything about Contraband. I've been under the impression that game's been canceled. But that's another game that Xbox just had out there. They were like, we're going to do it. We've got these people, and we've never heard about it again. Like they have multiples of these now, just in this one console generation.
Yeah.
Like I understand like things are hard to come together, but like I have multiple of these announcements now. Like the impression on how that makes management look in the face of these decisions is really bad. And I think a lot of fans and journalists are perhaps wondering, like, where is that accountability? Not only are you not shipping Perfect Dark, it's not bad. You don't even ship it at all. It's awful. You've just wasted years and years of time and effort marketing. You've just poured all this in there, and we get it. It's not coming together. But, like, did it take you 7 years to figure that out?
Yeah. And why is management okay with this? Why is management safe in this situation?
And Turn 10.
You have multiple studios who are not putting out games. They
Turn
just got
10
canceled.
Is one of the successes in Xbox's portfolio.
Yeah.
The last Forza Motorsport, I don't think was received very well. But that's because the expectation for Forza Motorsport is so high. Like it was, by all accounts, I think it was a good game. It just wasn't Forza Motorsport Gran Turismo good, right, of years past. But you look at Turn 10's legacy of putting out games, and they're like all successes. One after the other. Motorsport, good. They lost half their studio.
That's insane.
Half. Like, I kind of felt like they had more equity than that. And then Rare, I get, look, Everwild's been a mess since it was announced. So, like, Everwild, I get more than most. I think I get this one. But again, Phil Spencer was just at Rare earlier this year. Did interviews where he was like, I just got to see Everwild. I'm real excited about this. And you just kill like months later, you just kill the game. Those things don't line up. Something's not right. Either the game was shit and you canceled it, or mismanaged, overspent and you can't. But like the game could have been good and then you canceled it, like you said. Right. And also like kind of like Turn, Rare, the big success of Xbox's homegrown, that's the Sea of Thieves developer.
Yeah.
That made all, like, Sea of Thieves has been a huge success for Xbox for 10 years. Like, I kind of felt like, what are they going to do now? You've canceled their project they've been working on for years. Now what? Just more Sea of Thieves? Are they going to try to do something else now? Like, it seems weird to me that you would cancel it versus, like, letting them get it out the door. I don't know. I got lots of questions. I'm not trying to be, Monday morning quarterback here, but it just feels like a lot of still things are left unanswered. And here's the thing. I don't think we actually know the full extent to which this has happened. This is day one, first day reporting. I think as things shake out over the next coming weeks, there might be more to this story than we think. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nah, it's just all bad. Sad. I never thought we would come to this point where Xbox is like, a lot of these studio people losing jobs.
Yeah. Call of Duty
to this degree, at least.
Call of Duty got cuts too. Again, we don't know the number of cuts. So I don't see any of this news today as any sort of evidence to my claims, but I would like to just reiterate them. I've said them on this podcast before. I think this stuff maybe gives me a chance to maybe put them in new or better context. A lot of my issues with Xbox coming out of the Activision deal stem from the fact that I was looking at how Activision was operating before Xbox bought them, and then I applied that same logic to the Xbox situation. And that is where I've always come from. I've always have had this fear since the Activision deal that now that Xbox has Activision and they have Call of Duty, now they don't need to be like that friendly indie punk rock developer that takes a chance on Psychonauts and State of Decay and Everwild and Hellblade. They have Call of Duty now. Like, they have a big boy seat at the table.
Yeah.
And Activision has been on that train track for a while. I'm not sure if you've paid attention to Activision in the last decade. Activision used to put out a lot of games, had a lot of studios.
A ton of games.
And year over year, it all basically just started to fold into Call of Duty. You come in and make Call of Duty. Now you call it in. Now, I'm not saying Xbox is going to turn everybody into Call of Duty developers. What I'm telling you is that I think at a corporate level, at a massive corporations level, it's hard to justify expenses into passion projects with a low yield of return. You know, like nobody thinks Hellblade's going to become the next $500 million thing, right? It's hard to put resources into those projects when those are resources that could be shoveled into the monolith that is Call of Duty.
Yes.
Right? And since this has happened, what have we lost? We've lost Redfall and Tango and half of Turn 10 and the Initiative and Perfect Dark. Like, those are the things that's going away. Yeah. We haven't heard 50% layoff of Call of Duty developers.
Yeah.
That's never going to happen. They're the cash cow.
They're looking at like, why make 10 games that can make $1 million a piece when we can make one that's going to make $100 million?
There's definitely that, but I think it's deeper than that. I think if you're looking at, think about it, if you're looking at the totality of what Xbox gaming is now, and I don't know what it is, but I'm just saying numbers off the head. Probably wrong, but just bear with me for analogy's sake. 25 studios, 10,000 employees, right?
Yeah.
Sadia sits down with Phil and Sarah and he goes, guys, it's just, we're not making enough. You got to lighten this load. When you go to look at where do you make cuts from, do you make cuts from the Call of Duty teams, or do you make cuts from these teams, from Elder Scrolls Online and Turn 10? Like, that's been my fear with this the whole time. So when I've brought up these things about, like, I'm worried about Hellblade, and that's where that comes from. And just so far, again, I don't look at this news as being like, ha, I was right. I'm not saying that. But I am noticing that if you just start taking account of what's happened,
you can see
it looks like we're perhaps heading in that direction. Like, we're in that direction, right?
Yeah, because two points I wanted to bring up. One, this is what I was saying in the beginning when this was all beginning, was that, like, because it was all this hope of, like, these studios are going to come back, these studios are going to be stronger, we're going to get all these old games again, like, the glory days of video games are coming back.
Yeah,
it's like,
Banjo,
no, it's not. It's not.
Tony Hawk, you were saying that.
Yeah, because I was like, this is a fucking business. They're not in here for your nostalgia. They're here to make $1. And so it's like, that was my thing from the get-go. It's like, you guys are fucking dreaming. It's not going to happen. Now, the other thing is... I was person dreaming. And the other thing is that, like...
I was thinking Rock Band.
Yeah.
Guitar Hero.
I was like, nah, dude.
Like, let's get Guitar Hero back, Chaufie. You were like, dude, that shit's never happening.
It's not going to happen. But then the other thing is, and it's not to knock Call of Duty, but it's like, you have to keep feeding the beast.
Yeah.
You know?
No, you have to.
Because when you log into Call of Duty, it's insane how much content there is to purchase. Now, these things don't make themselves, but very soon AI will make it all. But it's like, not only do you have the battle pass, you also have this, like, sub activity. Like, recently they just did a tie-in with, like, the ballerina thing. And so it was like, those were a subset of activities that were happening in the game. And right before that, there was something with, like, Seth Rogen. And it's all these layers of things to just keep you coming back. And so when Donnie's saying, like, well, do we make 10 million off of this game, or do we make 100 million off this other one. Well, the other one is Call of Duty, and as long as you can keep your people coming back with, well, I guess I'll buy that skin pack for $5.
Yeah.
All right, I got you for 5. Now, exponentially, I got you for 5 million. It just keeps going and going and going, and it's like it's just unfortunate because I do long for those days of like the one-off games of like going back to like the E3 years where it was like I was never there for the big blockbusters. Like those were fun, but it's like, what's the weird game I'm going to hear about this year? What's that one odd game that's going to be like, that's fucking crazy. I've never seen anything like that. Now we're in the place where we might hear about this game, and then I, as a pessimist, just go, and that's probably never going to get made.
That's so sad. But you're right.
It's probably just we saw the 2 trailers and never heard of it again.
Yarn in the chat says, in all fairness, Perfect Dark hasn't been relevant over 20 years. Nostalgia's keeping alive. That sounds right. I hate reading that, but you're right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the IP, even if it's still nostalgia, that IP has at least that. And that's a lot more than you can say for most other things.
Yeah.
To be fair, you can say that about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like a lot of
But guess
things
what you
have
can't
that.
say that about? Can't say
Superman.
it about Avowed, South of Midnight. Can't say it about Contraband.
Yeah.
Can't say it about any of these games.
Yeah.
But you
But
can
even-
say it about Perfect Dark. It had a built-in advantage.
Because Yarden's not wrong with the statement at all. Like,
He's not.
No, he's right.
I don't
It's-
think
it's
young,
true.
I don't think young
But-
people give a shit about Perfect
This
Dark.
is why Rebecca doesn't like Yarden. You piece of
But-
shit.
But if they released it and it was good, that goodwill that Perfect Dark has could have won over younger people that don't know anything about
Correct.
Perfect Dark.
but this,
Like if we were all like, holy shit, Perfect Dark's back.
yeah. Well, this comes with a more, an aged gaming community who now has more money than they did in their high school and teen years. So we're gonna buy Perfect Dark because nostalgia is a motherfucker. I'm gonna get
Let's
it.
be honest. It's all us old people buying games anyway.
Yeah. So you
We're
already
the
have
ones
that,
buying these single player experiences.
you already have that base, and then thinking about like my own household, and Donnie's, yours is probably the same. Now, even you too, Delvin. Like you buy a game, and then your kid watches you play, and now they're playing the game. Like we have these shared libraries, and now they're interested in the games on their own. This game never gets that opportunity, and then it also just burns the consumer because it's like for the people who love Perfect Dark,
Don't forget-
they love the shit out of it. And
Perfect
they're-
Dark was the star of their E3 showcase last year.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was
Like they
huge.
had their big demo and the trailer and jumped through the window and everybody was like, fuck it, it's back. No, it ain't.
Yeah, nah,
It's
you
back
thought.
on the shelf again.
Right.
Is what it is. And it's like,
No,
no, minute.
they already sold that shelf. There's no shelf.
For us, the old unks. Like, dude, it fucking sucks. Perfect Dark, man. It's Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
It's not Redfall. Like, I hope that comes across. I don't really know what I'm trying to say. It's just like, don't fuck up Perfect Dark. That's not the one. Like, that's not one of the ones you should be messing around with like that.
Yeah.
Take those chances, that weird shit. Take that to South of Midnight or something. But no,
Yeah.
they
It's not to
legit
say
did
I
this.
don't want to see the small studios succeed or that I want those, newer IPs to fail, but it's like there are times where you have to really think about like who are we fucking over here? What legacies are we trying to keep alive, or even just IPs we're trying to keep alive?
It was a big part of, they went on this, I know they've had Perfect Dark and Rare for some time, but a big part of these acquisitions, like, they are now the home
Yes.
of some incredible brands that we want them to take care of, to be good stewards of. Was one of the things I was very excited when they bought Bethesda, because I was like,
It was the
this
story
is a
of preservation.
great place for Doom to be, for Fall. Like this will ensure that they continue happening. Well, today was a chink in that armor. I can't say that anymore because it didn't mean shit for Perfect Dark.
Zero.
Bruce in the chat says, should we worry about Fable? I don't think so. But can anybody, without a doubt, say that today? No, not after today.
No.
You can't say that. But I don't think so, Bruce, because Playground is it's Playground or the Coalition. I'm not sure, but those are Xbox's best studios. Like, I don't know if Fable's going to hit, but here's what I do know. Playground is as good as it gets. Like, they are I think they're the best thing that Microsoft has. So if they can't do it, nobody can, in my opinion. So I don't know, maybe that's putting too much faith in Playground, because they could just be axed by Microsoft too. But we didn't hear anything about Playground today, and I took note of that because we did hear about Turn 10, and there wasn't anything that came across Playground. So I think Playground is okay. Yeah. And we will see. You cannot fuck up Fable. Like, you cannot fuck up Fable.
I would hope not.
Not after everything Fable's been through. I'd be brutal. That'd be crushing for a vocal minority of Xbox fans. I don't want to oversell us, but there is a loud, small group of us that, like, Fable is our shit. And fucking that up, I think, could ruin, like, you could sever your relationship with people forever if you fuck up Fable. I think there's people who'll be like, that's it. They'll turn the console off and never again. So they've got to get that right.
Yeah. Well, have they already severed a lot of those relationships already with all the moves they've been making lately?
Probably. Yeah. Yeah, no, this is just more in those coffers. Like, if you want to build that narrative or that case, it's just more evidence for you to do it with, for sure. Yeah. Like, are any of those people still around?
Yeah.
I think they are. I think they're, around on PC, around on PS5, but they're still around.
Yeah.
So
they famously talked me out of an Xbox this year.
It doesn't bode well. I know they're like, we didn't really talk about it. It looks terrible. You're like, look how great we are. Look how awesome we are. More people buying games, more people playing games. Hardware's never been stronger.
We're out here making money.
Get the fuck out of our office. Like that. Yeah. And what we didn't report on is a lot of Schreier's reporting was bleak. He has sources at ESO. He's been reporting on it all day. He's like, there are people there that have been locked out of their Slack accounts that still have access to email. And they have no idea if their job is still safe or not. It was like 3:00 this afternoon. They're like, they don't know if they have a job tomorrow.
Imagine that distress, dude. You just like, I don't know what I'm doing right now.
I would be the whole fucking problem if I walked into my office and like couldn't log into my computer and like the door didn't work.
Yeah.
Like, I talked about that earlier. This is not even an Xbox thing. This is just a corporate culture thing. We've got to fix this. There are way too many stories of people showing up to work, key card turned off. Like, we can't let people go in any better way than this.
Yeah.
Like, you log into Slack to start your day and it's like, psh, booted from the channel. The mod got you.
Yeah.
Jason Lacey's banned you from working on Elder Scrolls Online. It's like, have we lost all empathy at all? Like, you can't bring somebody into an office and sit them down and give them a damn studio head was there for 30 years.
Yeah.
He created Banjo. And they're like, nah, you can go.
Just give me the canned conversation. All right, Donnie, I'm here to bring you in today.
Facts.
We got to make some cuts. I know you're mad. I know you're upset. But like, at least you're giving me some type of closure instead of throwing me into like a tailspin of distress.
100%.
Okay, let me log into the Slack. What the fuck? Because now is it my internet? Is my phone fucking up?
I'm surprised we don't have worse reports. I'm surprised somebody hasn't like broke a computer or lit a room on fire. I'm like, y'all are some really nice people out here. Because if I walked in with it, it would be the whole fucking problem. Trust. I'm getting through this door.
I'm leaving it with something.
Something. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're still in office supplies, guys.
Right. Fucking Donnie's over here got the black market on paper clips. It's like, listen, I got you.
Hey, man, this is a Canon printer, right? This is laser shit. This shit's nice, though.
Color.
Yeah, these people are much better than me, for sure, because you never really hear about it. You just hear, like, in my head, the reporting makes it sound like they're just peacefully waiting to be fired. And I'm like, hell no. Have y'all ever been into, like, a McDonald's? Like absolutely not.
No, not fam.
But yeah, really just, I don't even like, I take no joy or glee in any of this. I know I've been like the Xbox, villain hater or something for some time. And it's just like, dude, this is not good. This is not good if you hate Xbox. Not good if you like it. This sucks. This just fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And I think my biggest takeaway is, I think Yarden really kind of pointed to it earlier in the chat. He was like, once I heard turn 10, nobody was safe. That's my biggest takeaway. It's not just so that nobody's safe. It's that we took solace in Xbox snatching up these brands because they had so much money that they could, even if it was a loss, they could afford to keep them going. It was like, well, at least they're safe there. Fucking $18 trillion, whatever, they've got so much money. It's hard to even, I don't even think I know the word to accurately describe how much money they have. Surely they can make a perfect dark video game every now and again. And it's like, fuck, they can. Like, it makes me feel less good about the brands that are there. Like, I don't think we have to worry about Doom or Fallout, but like, how many misses do they have? And as I've said since it released, since it was $50, since it was digital only, since it didn't get good reviews, very, very concerned about Ninja Theory. And like, God, it was such a big part of, they were like, we bought Ninja Theory. I was like, I'm fucking back. Let's go. And then here we are, one generation. I'm like, please somebody buy Ninja Theory. Like, somebody else come get them. Like, please don't close Ninja Theory. Please sell them if at all possible. Like, let them go independent. Do not just close them. Yeah, that's basically where my head is with Xbox's studio business these days.
Such a bleak outlook, though.
And it shouldn't be. They still, for everything we just read, I think they've got like 40 first-party studio like games in development. They've got like 20, 30 damn studio. Like, they still have everything under the sun to be, the strongest publisher in games and stuff. But it comes at, these are the costs it comes with, and it just sucks. So, any other thoughts?
Nah.
No, right. It's just disappointing, and it's kind of what you're saying. Like, I think there needs to be different approaches too. It's got to happen in a different way.
Yeah, I agree.
Sega is now the official gaming partner of McLaren Racing. Signed a multi-year collaboration with Sonic. So you might see Sonic on the side of Lando's car soon.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Might have a Lando-styled McLaren. I wonder if this ever goes the other way. Could we get like a papaya Sonic?
Oh, no shit, huh?
Right?
Well, I was going to say, this is the perfect tie-in for Lando, because doesn't he also have his gaming team as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What should absolutely happen out of this is they should put the McLaren and Sonic Racing coming up.
Yes, yeah. That's a good idea.
You should be able to race the McLaren car.
That I'm imagining Sonic, but like with an F1 body, but still his regular arms and legs just running, like just all weird. Like, oh, that's not the mashup I was thinking.
Just this monster feel of Sonic.
Right.
Mark Cerny says PlayStation 5 Pro will get its major replacement for the current pisser upscaler next year. So you're going to get FSR 4 or whatever is going to come down to the PlayStation. Should make a marketable improvement for all of you PlayStation 5 Pro owners.
That pisser's going to look real good.
I wonder if, I think theoretically, I guess no. I think you need the MPU chip or whatever. So maybe they couldn't run on base console. Neil Druckmann is leaving HBO's Last of Us production. Not just him. Is it Haley Gross? Like the co-writer? She also announced she was leaving, but nobody reported on that one, just Neil. But both of them left.
I didn't hear about her.
The show isn't canceled, to be clear.
Yeah.
Show continues on, apparently.
Yeah, because what did he say?
They are not
focusing
no
on the
longer
game.
part of it.
Yeah,
he said he was going to focus back at Naughty Dog. I mean, I'm not in the mix, but talking to Delvin and Haley, you guys made it at least appear to sound like the writing for Last of Us, the TV show, are maybe at odds with themselves. There might be some conflict internally.
Didn't seem as cohesive as the first season did. I think
that seems to be a thing going around.
If you look at how the season, the reception to the season, the writing was on the wall for somebody to leave. Like the reception of the season, like somebody's gonna be getting blamed for this. Somebody's gonna be out of here.
Well, I think I think we have to go back to something else because I remember listening to the conversation you had, and this is what and man, this episode just sounds like I agree with Donnie on everything, and I really don't want to. But he kept saying to you guys, I think you're just
I'll
too
come up
close
with
to
some
the
hot
source
take.
material, you know. And every point that you and Haley brought up really went back to. I don't want it to be like the game, but in the game, what they did, and it's like
Right. Yeah.
it's never gonna be the game because I think it was
Well, guess what? Season 3 is definitely not going to be like the game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because ain't
Well,
nobody
well,
working on the game
well,
working there.
Well,
But I wanted
my
to say
point-
this real quick though, was that like I think it was Guillermo del Toro did a Harry Potter movie, right? I think he did one of them.
No idea.
And when if it wasn't him, it was someone else who's like, you have to separate like A from B. Like people always be like, but the book was better. It's like
True.
then fucking read the book and stay with
Yeah.
the book and never watch the movie and you'll be fine. Because this is a movie and this is my vision. And this is what they paid me to bring it to life. And I know I'm saying it a little more condescending than he did, but that's sort of the context he put it in. Now, watching the movie or watching the show and separating myself from the game, it's still well done. The writing is still much better than most of the shows out there. It was a bit disjointed this
Now
season.
that I disagree with.
Nah,
I think the writing was compared to season 1. I thought the writing was not good.
But who were you talking to? Were you talking to people who don't play any video games, or
Oh
just
no, I'm saying
the community?
I'm saying in me watching it,
Yeah.
the writing was of lesser quality than the first season. I watched both seasons, and I liked the first season a lot.
Yeah. Now, this is where I'm saying I agree that it's disjointed, but not bad because I work with a ton of fucking teachers who do not play video games.
I know, just because you can read, don't mean it's not
No,
bad.
but the point I'm making though is that these are people who are not connected to the source material and they fucking love it. And they're talking about the emotions it evokes in them. They're talking about the story structure. They're seeing it from a different lens. You and I were broken in this because we already have the knowledge in our heads on how the story should go. And so from people who are neutral in this, like a lot of people, like it's the Monday water cooler talk. This show was fucking great. This show was
I hate to
amazing.
break it to you, Chaufie. Those people are dumb.
They're not. I'm just telling you.
They're very dumb.
You go back to what Donnie's saying. You're too close to the
Those
material.
are the same people who can't find Idaho on a map. I don't
No.
believe what they say.
Those are the politicians who fuck with education, who are teaching. It's not the teachers. So I'm going to disagree again. You're still wrong. You're just too close. That's all.
I'm
going to
do what Donnie usually does in this case. Hold on 1 second.
Donnie does it faster. This is where he
Yes.
tries to kick me out, bring me back. So
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all.
I don't know what he's doing.
Okay.
What happened?
well, anyways, while he's doing what he's doing, I do agree
Yes.
though. It's disjointed. It like there were too many writers because when you listen to like the companion podcast, they were talking over themselves. Like Neil Druckmann would say this one would say that. Like they weren't cohesive in how they wanted the story to move along.
So, to Chaufie's credit, the Rotten Tomatoes for season 2 of The Last of Us is at 92% critics. The tomato meter, the popcorn meter, I don't go off of that because that's just people review bombing, and I don't go off of that. The critic meter is 37, but I don't necessarily go off. The fan meter is 37. I don't go off of that though because review bombing is a thing now.
Yeah.
So Chaufie may be a little accurate on that. Based off what he says. Critics are praising it. Fans, mixed, I'll say.
Yeah.
So, yeah. HBO season 3. Get excited.
I really wish they would have stretched out season 1. Like I know we talked about on Cadillac where I was like, you're gonna do like fucking 2 seasons of the second game and like 1 season of the first game, but all the seasons are only like fucking like 6 episodes. Like what the fuck, man? Stretch it
I
out.
thought they should have stretched out both seasons, honestly.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
They should have. That was my biggest complaint. Like they should have did 10 episodes each season.
Season 1 was good, but it moved really fast.
Yeah. That's where it deserves
you
to
could
be
have
10, 12
easily-
episodes.
I think you could have easily doubled the episode count. Easily.
Yeah.
At least, at the very least, 4 more.
Mhm.
But could have doubled the whole thing, I think.
Yeah, because then that allows for the show to breathe and like develop the characters a lot
It's
better
the
than
slow
what
moments. That's the Joel and Ellie. The people are like, I don't understand why people are so attached to Joel. It's like, I don't know. I spent 20 hours with the dude. Like,
they did. Right.
you know, like, yeah, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Like, I'm definitely, no, I'm on Team Ellie.
But even think about that too. What you just said right now, like you spent 20 hours, whereas like we watched the show, each episode's an hour. Like,
Yeah,
so-
I don't know if this is true or not. I didn't watch the second one, but I could not imagine that scene hitting anywhere near as hard as the people that played the games as the people that just watched the shows.
I actually thought that scene was done well.
You don't have the connection and the investment into the characters that the folks that played the game do.
I thought that scene was done very well. I thought it was done better than well.
Yeah.
That wasn't the problem. It was after that scene that I had
I'm
a
not
problem
even saying
with.
the scene. I'm just saying everything, the journey. And it goes back to, look, we don't have to do this again, but it does go back to like my take on coming out of Last of Us 2. You know, like I kept talking about, like I felt like my experience with the first game had been tampered with. It had been retconned. It had been adjusted, slighted. I didn't like that. Right. I don't like that as a fan. Don't start going back and adding things to my experience. I remember coming out of that, people were like, why do you care so much? They're both evil. Why are you doing it? It's like, no. That's not the point. The point is I'm with this crew. This is who I spent 12, 15, however many hours doing this. This is them. I know their inside jokes and their little mannerisms and their that's who I know. And don't come in and be like, now is this like, no. I'm not doing any of this. It was never about morality.
Yeah.
It's about the end of the world. Endure and survive.
Yep.
I agree.
Really.
And I think that was my issue with the show in general. I said, like, the game in particular was a little bit more vague with it. It didn't tell you like who was right, who was wrong. The show straight up tells you, this is what's right, this is what's wrong. And if you don't believe me, we're gonna prove it to you.
Yeah.
Like, and it felt like it was holding your hand a little bit too much to me.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that because like, one, we were Joel, like as you played the game. You know,
100%.
so it's like that makes that connection even stronger. And when you realize like, oh, I'm actually like a terrible person. You know, like I'm actually just like ruining communities just for my own sort of like selfishness, you know?
Yes. But
And so that doesn't convey in the show. It just
Well, in the show,
translates-
you're not even Joel. In the show, you're Ellie.
Right. And so that's the layer of detachment. Yeah, and then you're more Ellie in it. And so it shifts into like, oh, he's just trying to take care of her. And it's like, it's actually different. She was just a product that he was moving from one location to another.
I think what made it work for me at least was the fact that the game told you that Joel was a terrible person in a world of terrible people.
Yeah.
The show is kind of like Joel's a terrible person in a world that's it's terrible, but there are good people in this world.
Yeah. They have a community.
So it
John,
brings a different perspective to it.
John is in the chat. I don't want to make it sound like we're just ragging on it. John says, I agree it's not as good as the first season, but the show is still better than 90% of the shit that's on TV. He says,
That's not a good. That's not necessarily a good thing.
John says, people are like it's the 10th best show on TV and it's trash. I mean, part of that is just, I don't think we've said it was trash. I haven't watched
No, I don't think it's trash. I just don't think it's.
So I'm not taking that personally, but online, if you're talking about just general online, that's just the online experience. So
Also, to be fair, TV hasn't been great of late. Like in general, I don't think TV's been
was
as great as it was.
The one that's ever got everybody blown up is the damn shitty ass reality dating show on Netflix my daughter watches.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a good show at all.
I don't know. It's definitely not. No,
that's my point. I don't think TV has, as
the
of
thing
late.
that scares me about that. I've been on this Netflix sandbox for a while. You see this type of stuff they're creating, and I don't know about if you guys think this way, but I look at the original content that they're gaslighting, and I'm like, yeah, that's MTV reality TV circa like 2003, 2004.
Yes.
I've seen this trash TV thing before. I understand why you're doing it. It gets ratings, but like, it shouldn't be just about ratings.
No,
Like, you should also want to make good stuff, though. Like,
bringing
you just put porn on it if it's just about ratings. Like, we can get ratings up, you know?
bringing it back to video games, it feels like that. Like the era that we're in the video games right now, where everybody's trying to rush to make the next Fortnite, because they know people are going to play that or going to watch that, and everybody kind of rush to make this the next dating show or this show.
I think Netflix is just programming to the least common denominator, and I just don't think that's a good idea.
Like everybody knows that
good idea.
Everybody's going to watch Fuck Island or American Idol or something like that, so they're going to just keep making that over and over again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, where's the creative works? Where's the
just like everybody's going to make their version of Fortnite because people love Fortnite.
And that's like what in the day that's what separated like an HBO from just the trash that was on TV like throughout the day, just to get,
Yeah.
I think we've lost that.
Yeah, I agree. There was an era of like every network had that era of shows that were just amazing at a certain period of time. I think we've lost a lot of that.
They wanted to be good, not just like Jerry Springer just did whatever for the rating. Whatever. Like that's why it just evolved, right? That's like the path that it looks like they're heading. I'm like, oh, we're just making just cringe binge trash TV now. Like I get that people watch it. I understand that's popular, but it's just like this yearning for like, can we just do some less popular things? Like,
well, it's because like things are. It goes back to the Xbox thing, like making something that's quick cash, disposable. Like use it, make it, burn it, move on, build the next thing. And whereas like they're not reinvesting into the stuff that's like worth and quality.
Yeah, I just want them to be like, we're gonna make the best movie.
Yeah, because my wife and I were talking recently about like it was just one of those random like side conversation type of things, and we were just saying it's crazy how like the younger generation is like going back to our old shows and binging them.
Not just
like,
that.
They're watching Friends, they're watching The Office, they're watching Seinfeld, they're watching Sopranos, and it's like that. But when you put it in a time frame, that's a hot fucking moment when TV was fucking popping. Like,
sure.
And these shows are still, the comedy is still pretty solid because a credit to the you gotta give credit to the writing. But the acting was fantastic. And it's like these shows just keep living. And they don't have these. And when I say convoluted, I don't mean, of course, Seinfeld had some weird shit going on. But it was like, it wasn't a convoluted story where it was like, where the fuck is this going? And why are we even talking about this? It was just that one weird episode because for whatever reason. But just.
I just wanted to chase. I just feel like we traded quality for popularity.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'd like that. I like that balance to like return a bit.
Yeah.
Like it's just make something really good though. Quit like
people want that. People.
I think their response is more people watch this, so it was better, and it's like, but it wasn't better.
Yeah.
Like those are different.
People kind of want that though. That's why like shows like Euphoria does great. That's why we got several seasons of Power, and Power's not even a good show. No, it's just that people were like,
more than that.
It's something. People just like wanted something that they could kind of. People watched it because it was episodic TV, and they missed that era of TV, so they got into it.
Nintendo has announced that pricing for the original Nintendo Switch family of systems will change based on market conditions in Canada. We don't know what that change will be. It'll be announced on August 1st. But nobody thinks it's a price cut, especially considering that our current president has an ongoing trade war with Canada right now, and I think just levied a higher tariff. So, the price of the Switch is going up in Canada.
It's
just the Switch one.
It's an announcement of a price increase. Like, we got
it is. It's an announcement of an announcement.
Usually, like, hey, we got a price update for the Switch. It's usually like it's going down. That's like, nah.
I don't know if I'm out of touch or just not in tune. I put this on the schedule before we had more news. I could have taken it off, saved it for Shaq. Maybe Rebecca knows more. When this came out, just by Blue Sky, which again, small sample. I don't follow a lot of people for a reason. Like, I'm trying to keep that tidy and tight. But the Nintendo folks that I do follow, there was a lot of like Nintendo greed. I can't believe they're doing this sort of responses. I guess they just wanted Nintendo to eat the tariff, which, hey, that's fair. Nintendo's $1 billion company. They can afford it. I'm not trying to argue that. But my take on it when I saw the announcement was like, well, of course they're doing that. this is about the trade war. They're going to raise the tariffs. Nintendo's going to raise the price. I never thought like corporate greed. Like corporate greed to me would have been them doing this across the board, across all countries.
Yeah.
Like they're doing it just in Canada. Do you guys have a different read on this situation than me? Did you see something else I didn't see?
That's pretty.
People are really mad at Nintendo about this, and I don't know why.
And it's only for the Switch 1, right?
It's just the Switch 2 remains the same, but the Switch 1 is going up in price. I don't know why people were so mad.
I would think that this would encourage more people just to buy Switch 2.
You'd think, yeah.
Yeah, just pushing them in that direction.
Yeah, I thought maybe there was something else that I missed.
Nah,
I don't know.
You're on point with
I
that.
don't know what it is.
It's the tariffs. They don't want to lose money on the product, so they're like, hey, we're going to raise the price in this area.
I think generally the outrage is that people are tired of the prices going up.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they seem to be specifically lobbying at Nintendo like them being greedy. And I was
I think it's
I don't know
just
if it's
people are tired.
greedy.
You're right. People are tired of the prices going up on everything, everywhere. Like,
That's true.
This feels like the first generation of consoles where prices didn't go down; they went up.
No, I mean, this is 8 years later. Switch hardware going up in price.
Not only Switch, like PlayStation,
That's crazy.
everywhere.
That's
It's
nonsense.
going up.
All around.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Matt Ryan, voice of Edward Kenway, not the former quarterback, teases a Black Flag remaster. He asked a fan at a signing, have you beat the game? And when the fan said he had beaten the original, Ryan replied, quote, well, you may have to beat it again. He then followed up saying, there's a reason I'm saying that, but I can't say why. So the whole industry has known a Black Flag remaster was coming some point.
The fan should have just said, no, I don't think I will. It just walked away. It just walked away. Nope, don't think I will.
It's like,
I like
I just
Assassin's
told you I
Creed 3
finished it.
more.
Like, what?
Why would I do
Are
that?
you guys excited for a Black Flag remaster? I imagine this is probably a 2026 game.
Absolutely not.
No.
I will definitely buy and play Black Flag.
I'm not
again.
even excited for Black Flag.
I hated the
Roach
pirate
Spray.
stuff, and I probably still do. Like, I just hate that whole like line up side by side and shoot candy. That was dumb. But I did enjoy Black Flag. I beat that game on Wii U. When I say that to people usually give me like stunned. They're like, "What?" Yeah, gamepad in hand.
Yeah,
I
that
am
one took me
people.
first thing. I was like, wait, did this fool say on the Wii
Yeah,
U? Damn.
Wii U, I beat that.
That doesn't surprise me the least bit.
No,
Donnie
not,
was a
one of the-
Wii U guy.
not surprising,
Honestly,
but also just remembering that, like, oh shit,
It was the
on there.
last Assassin's Creed I beat until Valhalla. I hadn't reached
Yeah.
an Assassin's Creed in credit scene since Black Flag, I think. I didn't do Unity. I didn't finish Syndicate, which I love. I need to go back to that one. That one's great. And I didn't do
That's
any
good.
of the Witcher games before Valhalla. Odyssey or Origins?
Yes.
I didn't beat any of those games. Black Flag was the last one I beat. I beat 3, I beat 4, and then Valhalla.
Okay. D-Life, I am people. Fuck that. Do not give me a fucking piece of paper in my fucking 2K box.
Are you glad that I pointed it out
Thank
to
you for
Jace
doing
as well? So Jace today was like, maybe I'll get that WWE game. He was like, I'm on board with game key cards. I was like, problem. It's not a
Fucking-
game key card.
Code in the box.
Yeah, it's pretty trash. It literally is trash. Like, it literally is just
Yeah.
trash. Plastic and a piece of paper.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I'm with you too. I wouldn't be having a cow about it being code in the boxes. I'm gonna have a cow. It's almost 80 gigs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nah, fam.
It's
You give me
it's heavy by
if-
Switch standards. This is a big
if
ass
I pay
game.
for
That's
that,
a
and
big
you give me
bitch.
a fucking. If I take my ass to GameStop to buy this, you give me a fucking code in the box. I am
could do that
beating
from
the
home.
fuck out of the retailer.
Yeah, no, you
I could have stayed home and did this shit.
100%.
Right.
Yo, no, no, don't like it.
I
at
did
all,
pre-order
not
it,
even a
by
little
the
bit.
way. I'm in.
Yeah, I might do
I'll
that.
be there.
I'm in.
I hope it's good. I hope boy, I hope we're not running and making the same mistake.
Oh, we definitely are.
We
Definitely
definitely,
are.
this shit's gonna be awful.
Same shit, different
Not
year.
a-
What the fuck you
Not
guys do?
again, man. Not again. I wanted to go check where I'm at with my Switch storage so far.
Oh, mine is full.
I have a terabyte card.
I have a 512.
Out of my
Probably
terabyte, so I've got the 256 that's on board plus my terabyte card. I have 516 gigs left. I've used more than half of it.
That's pretty good.
And then 2K is going to take
All of it.
20% of that.
Isn't that
Just right off the top.
like you just throw wrestling and that's a wrap?
Oh,
Yeah,
D-Life,
wrestling and
I am
Madden.
in.
I need another card.
To be clear, I'm in on buying 2K. I'm just not buying that fucking box.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you
no,
can fuck off with that shit. No.
So the thing that I've been doing, this is how I've been bleeding up my credit. So you can't use GameStop trade-in or like reward points on eShop cards. You can't like take your GameStop card and get an eShop
Let's
card.
go to the right GameStop.
Well, mine don't do it, and online doesn't do it.
I got that off last week.
But you can buy digital games through GameStop's website with your trade credit and stuff. So whatever the leftover trade credit that I have in my gift card from Father's Day, I've been buying. I bought Madden through GameStop's website, and because I'm a pro member, I save 5% off the top of the digital, and I can use my trade-in stuff, my stash credit. Whereas, you can't, if you go into the store, you got to buy a physical product. So I've just been buying my digital games through GameStop.
Nice.
So I don't know how much. I think I've got maybe one more left after Madden and 2K, and then I'm out, and then I got to start buying out of pocket again. So that's going to be a problem. Well, Delvin just walked away.
Yeah, I was like, he just got up and left. Not even a message.
So
I'll be right back.
I'll start the Rude Day segment. He says he'll have a scoring update for us as a whole next week. But right now we have over or under 86.5 for Tony Hawk 3 and 4. Tony Hawk 3 got a 97 and 4 got a 94 back on PlayStation 2. The Rude is taking the over. What do you think, Chaufie? Over or under?
I think it'll be over.
Oh, I'm definitely taking the under.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I think this one has a ton of fucking steam behind it, more than I think the 1 and 2 combo did.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Like,
you're more touched with that than I think.
Skate community's like super tapped in. They're doing the whole fucking Taco Bell promo. Like,
that's true.
there's a lot behind this. My son and all his friends are fucking hyped up about it. I'm like, you don't even have nostalgia for 3 and
Do they
4.
even
Like,
know
what the
who Tony
fuck are you
Hawk
talking
is?
about? Like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. We went to like a skate competition not that long ago, and it was just smacked with fucking Tony Hawk shit all over the place. So, and maybe it's just because Southern California is synonymous with skating, that it might be bigger out here. But I'm gonna take a chance and take the over. If I'm wrong, then whatever I'm wrong on is a deficit for Delvin.
Okay. And he's not here, so he doesn't get a vote.
Nope.
Over under 83.5 for Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. He says the 2D side scroller from the Game Kitchen, whose last game, Blasphemous 2, got an 84. The Root is taking the over.
Tough. I might take the over as well, because just for the name alone, that already brings in.
I'll take the under again.
All right. Again, any deficit created goes to Delvin.
Tony Hawk, I'll take the under. Ragebound, I'll take the under as well.
You weren't even here. You don't get to just phone those in.
Man.
No, I was here.
You were
Dev
not
wasn't here.
I'll have the record to show that if I go take a screenshot of this stream, you are not present.
Nope.
I was here.
Space Ace was here. You weren't.
No, I was here.
Indio Techno says, got a rude days for everyone but me. I don't think that's how it works. I don't think I can be omitted
Does not
from
work
the
like
thing.
that.
Yes or no, Donnie gets a PS5 by the end of 2025.
We can't give points on that. That wouldn't be fair.
Delvin
Regular
said null and void.
Regular PS5.
But we can give an answer, but we can't give points on that. That's not fair to Donnie. Because Donnie can manipulate the system. Be like, yeah, I'll just buy one just to fuck over you guys.
It depends on which one you would take. I would do the opposite.
I'm going to say no.
Because Donnie is petty like that. He's like, I got the fucking money. I'll do it. Do it just to prove you wrong.
I wouldn't until the end of the season where it's like, it's a tie. I'm like, oh, well, is it?
Hold on.
Walmart says it's not.
Right. Fucking over here, December 31st, 11:55 p.m.
Yeah.
Purchased.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Am I a future soon-to-be PS5 owner?
No. I've been out of the gaming loop for a while in terms of like news and upcoming stuff, but I don't see anything that's like gonna draw you in.
Not
I'm
even
gonna
the big
say-
things that they're all excited about. I have like literally no interest in.
I'm gonna say no because
They're like, we got Wolverine. I'm like,
if
and
Hellblade didn't bring him in, and like Gears didn't bring him in, I don't think he's going in.
I won't. I would definitely would never rule it out. Your best chance is that I've given thought seriously to buying one for Jack. I don't know if that would count in this equation.
I would say
Like,
no.
Yeah,
I
because
would
it would
say-
have to be for you.
For
No,
you.
It would be in Jack's room. Like I've literally thought of buying one to replace his Xbox.
See, because I was gonna say too. Now you might get one for your son. You might get one for your son, but not for you.
Chaufie Cloudburst going off.
Yeah, what?
The only other way that I would get one, it would take a big announcement from PlayStation. I can't miss, and then it would have to be soon.
A
'Cause I
Gears
wouldn't buy
PlayStation?
one immediately. No, I wouldn't buy a Gears PlayStation. But if like there was like, we have an Infamous collection coming out next year. Yeah, I got to get a console. Like if it's not coming to PC, I got to get a console for that. I can't miss that.
See, that's the problem. They're all coming to PC now.
It would be. You're right. You're right. Like Hot Shots. If
there's
Hot
no
Shots, if
reason.
the only way to play Hot Shots was PlayStation 5, I'd have one.
Yeah, they're all coming to
But-
PC now. So,
But it's coming out on PC and Switch, so I don't need to buy PlayStation.
well, that's a
for
good
that.
point, Yarden. When you grab one before GTA 6,
I won't.
No.
I can answer that to you now. I've been telling you guys this. I don't think anybody believes me. No.
so you're gonna just wait for the PC version of GTA 6?
Yes, unless they
That
put it on
sounds awful.
Switch. Put it on Switch.
That's awful.
But yeah,
You're not gonna play GTA 6 till like 2029.
Well, he'll be playing right at the same time when he plays fucking college hoops.
We may be dead by then. We might not
mean-
make it to 2029.
might be on the Xbox Steam box or whatever by then. We don't
Right.
even know what the fuck, right? Xbox PC machine console thing.
Augmented reality.
Yeah,
Ray-Ban
Yarden
glasses.
says nobody believes me. I know I said this. Sean never believes me. Like I don't know. I can't. The last trailer that I saw of GTA, I cannot better elaborate how completely unmoved I was by those characters. I was like,
Yeah, they really were the opposite of me. I was excited for it. Like, oh.
I didn't. I was the opposite of excited. Like whatever the polar like I was less than enthused.
You was whelmed.
I was like, I can totally wait to
was-
play for
he
this.
was-
I can totally wait to play this on PC.
He's just whelmed. Not overwhelmed, just
just-
whelmed. Like,
I was just
Not
not
over, not under.
just whelmed. Like, all right.
Yarden. It's not that I could find a deal.
That might be worse, by the way. Just
the
being
problem.
whelmed.
The problem with the PS5 is, I mean, again, if it's for Jack, it just goes in Jack's room. But for me, the problem with me having a PlayStation 5 is that I have nowhere to put it. Like it's literally too big; it doesn't fit anywhere. Like the easiest way to get me interested in PlayStation 5 would be some sort of smaller revision, to the
Slim
console.
model.
Something
Because
I
even
can
the slim
like,
model's a big bitch.
yeah, and it's tall. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
fit in any of my cubbies. I have nowhere to put it. Like it literally has to sit on the floor.
Yeah.
Or like set it next to my desktop. Like I have nowhere for it to go.
It's the fun sway of the system. That's the problem.
So I mean that's the biggest thing from getting me in. Like I love GTA. Always
Don't buy
have.
a PS5 when they bring Perfect Dark to the
Good
PS5.
luck with that.
Could you imagine?
PlayStation should just buy Perfect Dark and like we'll make it.
But it would take like I would absolutely give up everything if they were like we have an Infamous game. I'd be like okay I'm in.
Yeah, I'm back, baby.
You know, like yeah I can't miss that. All right, Delvin. That's the end of all the news, the rumors, the Rude Days questions.
We
We don't have that many questions, so that's good.
Yeah, we can get right through these. All right, let's get to these questions. Our first question is from Quagmire, Giggity. So what's Microsoft's play? Game Pass has to be fueled by more games from more studios, but are the costs starting to get to the what? Nadia? I don't know what that means.
I wasn't looking at it.
The Nadella?
Nadella? Is that
The
is that
costs
like
are starting to
Nelson
get to
Mandela?
Satya Nadella is the CEO of Microsoft.
Oh, that's who that is? I thought that was like a cookie.
Not Nutella, Satya Nadella.
Cream, you know?
Got you.
Are they trying to focus on fewer quality games? Seems like Microsoft has been pivoting constantly since ABK with no sure direction. Well, you're correct. Donnie is our Xbox insider. What do you think of this?
I don't want to do this again.
It's your fault. You're the insider. I thought they were talking about a goddamn cookie. They were like, hey.
Every time I tell people how I feel about Xbox, I end up pissing off D-Life and everybody.
Fuck D-Life.
We've seen the chat. Suck a dick.
I don't want to. I just don't want to be. I don't want to rain on everyone's parade all the time. I think Xbox.
You want me to rain on their parade? I'll tell you. Quagmire is over, son. Go buy a PlayStation. Go buy a Switch 2. You can play the Xbox games there. Everything will be fine.
Listen, Microsoft has.
If you have an Xbox, throw that shit in the trash.
Microsoft has showed us their plan. They've conveyed what it is they're trying to do. They're going to be the world's biggest video game publisher.
Yes.
They're going to have a brand of hardware that is built around the unification of Windows and consoles. And if you're somebody out there that appeases to you, that's great. That's what they're doing. How Game Pass fits into that, it is very interesting because I see a lot of people. I think like people have called The Outer Worlds, like they're going to make that game. It's like $80. People like they're doing that to encourage you to go to Game Pass. A lot of people think that all of this is just like a move to everything go to Game Pass. I think one of their ex-employees said they're just all in on Game Pass. I don't think they're all in on Game Pass.
I don't think that at all.
I haven't for like a year, maybe longer. Sean and I have talked about this a lot on Sweet Hangs. If you want like deep dives, Xbox philosophy, I can't recommend Sweet Hangs enough. But with the price increases that Game Pass has had, with them bringing exclusives to other services, particularly PlayStation 5, like it's clear that they are diversifying their portfolio of customers away from just Game Pass. Like they're not depending upon Game Pass. It's there. You can have it, right? But it's not the end all be all. I thought years ago I did think that. I thought Game Pass was the console, like it was everything. And then they've really pulled back from that.
Yeah, I think
we heard. Sorry to interrupt.
I think their moves show that Game Pass isn't working like they expect it to work. So let's just get our stuff everywhere, and if people can buy it everywhere, that's perfect. And Game Pass here too if you want that. You can do both.
Yep. We heard before they included Call of Duty, there was lots of reporting that they were even speculative on Call of Duty being included in Game Pass. Whenever this Xbox PC unification things happen, if you don't think Game Pass will change because of that, I got bad news for you. It's going to change a lot. It's going to have to. Because if you're playing on PC and you're playing on Windows, you can't charge people for online play. It's free on PC. You can't charge them for Xbox, Xbox Live. So they're going to have to find added benefit value there. Also, I can't be the only one that thinks this. I think even the most devout of Xbox fans probably also agree that Game Pass will go up in price.
Yeah,
at the very least, they'll pull the PC only tier into the higher price tier, and that'll just become the new tier. But I see a future where Xbox has a cloud tier, an ad tier, and a more premium tier. If you want day one Call of Duty and day one Fable and day one Halo, I think Game Pass is going to go up soon.
Yeah.
Soon. I'm like by the end of next year for sure. I would think right now. By the end of next year for sure, Game Pass goes up.
Yeah. And I think the whole idea of putting Game Pass on TVs and stuff is kind of like, hey, we can just do this here. That's one stream of revenue. Like, hey, everybody, you can just play your Game Pass games on this LG TV.
Yeah.
If you want the console,
I think there's a lot of minor issues and topics to talk about, like what their hardware plan means for their future. I think there's a lot. I have like a lot of very like nitpicky interests. I wonder like how many different things will be supported. Like my idea for this, Dev and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and at one point we were asking ourselves like, how open of this PC platform do you think it will be? Because I think the console is going to behave like a console. I think they're going to try to make everything work through the Microsoft Store. But the question was like, can you go to desktop mode? Like, is it a PC? Can you put your emulators and stuff on it? And me and Dev were both like, are they really going to open that up for people? No. And then it kind of hit me, I think that weekend after the show, I was thinking about it. I was like, on the current Xbox, you can pay a fee, a developer fee, to open up the current Xbox and put your own stuff on it. You can run it homebrew on Xbox Series consoles now.
Oh, that's
So
interesting.
maybe
I didn't know that.
Maybe that's the idea. Maybe you could pay a dev fee to unlock the win, and now it's a PC. And like maybe it'll be a console that you can use as a PC if you want. And maybe that's how they'll recoup like their license fee. But my impression for like the next, I'm going to call it system of Xboxes, because I think there's going to be multi devices. We know there's going to be handhelds. We know we're getting one now. There's going to be another one later. But I think we're going to have multiple handhelds. And I also think we're going to get multiple consoles. I think Xbox will make console. And the way I'm kind of thinking about it is I'm thinking of it more like a gaming brand, like Alienware, like G Cloud. Like I'm thinking like Xbox becomes Microsoft's gaming brand. And I think what they'll do is I think they'll come up with Chaufie does Chromebooks, so you'll be in with me on this one. Delvin, maybe not. In recent years, I think maybe the last 4 years, Google has started what they're calling their Chromebook Plus line of Chromebooks. Everybody can make them. Like Toshiba makes them, Lenovo makes them, Acer, Asus, they all make Chromebooks. But the Chromebook Plus line of Chromebooks define like a minimum spec. Like if you buy a Chromebook Plus, doesn't matter from who, you are guaranteed that you're getting an i5 Chromebook with an SSD, and I kind of think that's the idea with the Xbox hardware. If you buy an Xbox, I'm going to put in quotes, console, then you're getting an expectation that it's this AMD chip or better. It's got this much RAM or more, and that's kind of the idea. I think that's probably what this looks like when the dust clears. And I'm not against that in any way. I think that's fine. I've said it from the beginning. To me, that signals to me we're leaving the hardware space. Now, they're not. When you say that to an Xbox fan, they go, they just confirmed they're making a console. Yeah, to be clear, they're making a console. They're not making the console, and there's a difference.
They're making a vehicle.
They're not making a platform that they are trying to drive user base in so they can subsidize the hardware and the software. The whole console model is essentially under attack right now, but the whole console model is very different depending on that one thing. Are you subsidizing the hardware so you can grow a user base to sell more too? Because if you are, then you sell that hardware for cheap and you make it up later. I think what Xbox is doing is like, no, we've got some hardware. We don't care if we only sell 2 million of them because we're going to reach everyone else everywhere else, right? That's a whole different thing. Suddenly that console could be $1,000, $1,200, $1,500. There's nothing to stop you from buying a $2,000 Xbox.
Yep.
Which makes the handheld like very relevant in this conversation.
Yeah, that thing's going to be $800.
Well, because then it's doing exactly what you're saying. Like, here's a device with the minimum specs to be able to run, our Game Pass. So here's beta model for that we're going to try in the public. If this shit works,
they'll probably have generations, right? Where they'll for 5 or 6 years, this is the standard for an Xbox, and then they'll announce this is the next standard for Xbox hardware.
Yeah.
So I think that's the approach forward. And just to be clear, I've never hated the end. I hate what they're doing to get there. That's the part I hate. I think doing this in one generation, doing this without more lead in, without more conditioning, without bringing the customer along, like doing this essentially to your most devout fans. Like you've basically sent them up the creek without a paddle. Like these people that bought in on day one for your console that you marketed Hellblade to, Halo 2, Starfield 2, Game Pass, you did all of that and then mid-gen pulled the plug. That's why I'm angry. I'm not angry that I hate this idea where there's 80 Xboxes. That I don't care about. What I will say, what I have said, what I will reiterate is that Jeff Grubb, I give all the credit to because he was the first person I heard say this. Consoles make players feel special.
Yeah.
When you buy a console, your console is exactly the same as everyone else's. You're in it together. It's communal. And things are developed specifically for your quality of life and ease of use in mind. from the store to the dash to the menu to the options to the features. Everything is benefit for you. You're special. This blend into PC world where we don't know what this is going to be, but let's just take my logic for a ride, where there's a Lenovo Xbox and an MSI Xbox, and they've got that Xbox and I've got this Xbox. It's not communal. You're not all together. You're just all playing on PCs with a wrapper. It doesn't feel special. And having grown up in this industry and been conditioned by how consoles worked, that's jarring. And I don't like that as a, what I would call like a fairly devout Xbox fan. I have Lancers on the wall because I love that universe and that stuff, right? Like I'm accustomed to it. I have Xboxes on display. I've got 50 controllers, right? It doesn't feel special in that way. Like, do I hate that Xbox? No, but I also don't need that Xbox because I have one. If they're just going to turn that wrapper on and I can launch, I can do that now. Like there's my PC is right there. Maybe I will consider an Xbox when I want to upgrade this PC. Whenever that is, right? Like maybe the next one, to put like a D-Live term, maybe the next one, maybe I'll think about it, right? But that pitch, that here's what we're going to sell, I don't need any of that. That doesn't appeal to me at all, which is why I always say the things that I do about the console. I don't hate the approach. I'm not looking to buy. I'm like, I don't need any of that now. I've had that. I've already had an Ally and an Ally X. Like, that's not what I'm looking for, you know? So I don't think there are people out there that think that Xbox is going to turn on this Xbox launcher and 30 million people are going to turn in their Switches and PlayStations and buy I don't think that's going to be the case. Like I think we just disagree on what's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I honestly don't think many people are going to care. I think when you have too many options, you lose people just by having so many options. Some people are like, dude, just give me the PlayStation. You know, like just, I'll just buy that one then. You know, like how is that even going to market in stores? Is it even going to market in stores? This is a company that doesn't even print discs anymore. They don't care enough to put Gears on disc. Are they going to have like all these different consoles somewhere and you can choose from them? Are you going to order them direct? I mean, there's a lot of questions about this. A lot more than I think people think. Yeah. When you start bringing those other manufacturers in, you start talking about drivers and support, bugs, you know, like what are they doing about any of that? I don't know. I have a lot of show me instead of tell me.
Question number 2.
Oh, jeez. Fuck, how many? God damn, man.
Did I talk for too long? You told me to talk.
That was the perfect answer. I loved it. That was amazing. That was great. That's what I wanted from you.
Okay, I was like, you told me to talk.
All right, these next 5 questions, don't talk.
Talk faster.
I appreciate that. He was like, I don't want to keep talking about this. Gave us the most accurate, perfect description of everything. Yeah, that's what I expected. All right. From F2P Joe. that's how Rebecca says it. It drives me crazy every time.
She does it every time. Poor Joe.
Every time. We keep correcting her. Free to play Joe. Have you ever been fired or laid off? Which means this week?
Now here we're talking. I want to hear some stories, bros.
What was your first job?
Have you ever been fired?
Yes. I've never been fired.
Neither have I.
And I've never been laid off. Now, in contrast,
I've been laid off.
I have let go of many people.
Oh, you fire people. You are an oppressor.
Yeah, I have to fire people.
Yeah, he's the upper management like Dev.
Yeah. And this year was the first year I had like the oddest experience with like the 2 people I had to let go. Both of them were like more apologetic towards me. Where they were just like, yeah, you're right. Like one of the teachers,
I am a piece of shit. I'd fire me too.
One of them pretty much said that, where she was like, because this lady was like fucking problematic, and she was a very good teacher, but just issues all over the place. And so when I sat with her, and I was like, we've been talking all year long. I know this is not gonna be good news. At least I give the effort throughout the year that they're not fucking blindsided, So, but that conversation never goes well. it's always at some point they're just like, hey, but I got bills to pay and this and that.
Yeah.
But the first lady, she said to me, she's like, listen, she's like, I know you have to do this, but I have to say. And I was like, all right, here it is. This is where she calls me a motherfucker and I'm a piece of shit. And she's like, if I was in your position, I would let me go too. She's like,
Wow.
I made a lot of mistakes. And she's like, I didn't listen. I didn't improve. She's like, it just was like, yeah, you know, I'm just not a good fit. And I was like, no, I'm glad you see it. And heck yeah, man. You know what? I don't care about these peons. I make more money than them. Be gone.
Yeah.
Be gone. Bye, Felicia.
And then this other teacher, she was like, she was a new teacher. She just didn't grow the way I needed her to grow. And when I talked to her about it, she was like, you know, I get it. She's like, when I look at the team you've put together, she's like, I'm not on their level. She's like, even the new teachers, I'm not on their level. She's like, these kids deserve to have like high quality teachers. And I'm not there.
These kids.
Yeah. So so both of those were like, that's fucking crazy. Now, the first time I let someone go, oh, that was fucked up.
Did you lock them out of Slack?
Yeah, I did. I like took away her key, changed the lock. She couldn't get in the room. No, but I sat with her and I was like,
snatches a chain. Give me that whistle.
And we've talked about this, you know, we've gone through. And then she was like, you are a motherfucker. You are just a disgusting
How'd you know that?
And I was like, are we friends online? Okay.
How'd you know that?
It's like, wow. All right. Yeah. She just went off for like 30 minutes and it's like, okay, listen, you just need to fucking relax. And she like knocked shit off my desk. And
That's
fucking
something you can't tell a woman.
Ran out of the room. Yeah.
Calm down.
Calm down.
That'll turn out good.
Relax. Just relax.
Why is that reaction? Why do they react so hard?
Why?
You don't tell me to calm down.
Right, like it's instant. All of them. It's
That's how I
across
got
the
a
board.
how
How
I got a
motherfucking dare you?
Yeah,
That's
I'm
how I
like,
got
wow,
a
you're
motherfucking iron thrown at me.
really being emotional over here.
Not the E word. Oh no.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was not fun. So, you know, I've had
My
other
laid-off
people
story is
go,
not
that shit
interesting.
sucks.
But I will tell you a couple stories about me firing people that are far more interesting. So, when I was younger, I was an assistant manager. I don't want to give the name of the company, but you can figure it out you can read the lines between it. It was a bagel company.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't this Einstein's? Like, where's
I don't want to say it because the law.
Are they gonna attack
Josh,
you?
I'm trying not to get sued, motherfucker.
Who's
Because of what I'm going to say.
Bagels?
Einstein's gonna come for you.
I don't think they give a shit, Delvin.
No. Based off what I'm going to tell you, I can't. So there's two. The first story is this. We're working the shift, right? This guy, customer, pisses off one of the employees. Like talking shit, cussing the employee out. It's like this stoner white dude, right? So the stoner white dude is making this guy a sandwich. And I guess he made it wrong. So he's getting ready to make it again. He goes in the back, takes the sandwich, and proceeds to hawk a huge loogie in it. Like gross. And I'm just sitting there I happen to turn around and see him like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Oh man, fuck that guy, man. He about to eat this sandwich. Like, nah, bro, you can't do that. You gotta go.
You can't be doing that.
You can't. He's like, you mean I'm fired? Like, yes. You mean I can't work here no more?
That is what that means.
That is what fired means.
Yeah,
You've
directly.
been removed from the Einstein Discord channel.
And then he was like, what you want me to do with the sandwich? Like, not give it to that guy.
Yeah,
right.
Wow, this dude was the dumbest. Like, well,
he was high as fuck. He was like high. He was clearly.
Dude, working high and a sandwich shop is not a good combination.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know.
That'd
if
be a
was
real
like,
problem for me. Be like, yo, can I get a sandwich? Be like, hold up a bit. Like, I also am trying to get the sandwich.
High, or if he was just, I don't know if that was just.
I was gonna give you this sandwich, but it looks really fucking good.
Yeah,
so
I made this one too good. The same for you.
So, you don't deserve this.
I didn't ever work for Bagel. I did do sandwiches. I did sandwiches a few times. I've never been fired. So.
And so
I got close.
I got fired because the company went under. The company I work for went under. So they're like,
I got real close. I don't know if it's a fun story. I like telling it. And it's old enough now that I don't think it would matter. All right, so I've talked about for years, right? Like I code this program that we use for emergencies. 10 years ago, long time ago, maybe longer. When we were starting to take off, I'd been at my job for a few years, couple years. The state also has the same program that I have. So there was a period there where we were growing just much faster than the state. And they got defensive. Like they were like, oh shit, like, is he going to take over the whole state? Like, why is he doing these things? So I got called into a meeting at their office with my boss. My boss goes, we got to go over there tomorrow morning. Some background. The state agency that was particularly mad at me, our county hired their former director as our county manager at the time. So they had like they had a guy on the inside. So my boss and I, we think we're going to just meet to talk about them like doing something together. I walk into like a panel of like the head of the state, his deputy, his deputy's deputy, the other guy, my counterpart, and then our county manager sitting on their side of the table.
That's intense.
It was super intense. I was like 24, maybe 25. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, was kind of tweaky. I was like I was scared. We had one little session break to use a bathroom, and nobody was really talking.
Well, the fact that you said session break, like this.
Oh yeah, no, this was an hours long meeting.
Real quick, like let's just talk super.
No.
They're like, no. This is actually gonna be in segments.
So my boss and I got like 10 seconds to exchange words, and I was like, "Are we getting fired?" And he literally was like, "I don't know."
Probably.
Like
Jesus.
we thought we were getting fired because I got in, and what the state did was just like lambaste me over and over and over. I can't believe you're doing this. I can't believe you helped these people. I can't believe you built this. I can't believe you did that. We have this. Why are you doing that? And it was just like it was like 2 hours of that. And it was loud, and there was shouting.
They're just
my boss. This is my ex-boss, the one that I cried about when he quit. My boss at the time was fielding all the questions because he knows better. Donnie shouldn't talk to the media. Like it's not going to go well.
No.
He's like, so I'm PR, not him.
Yeah, he's doing everything. He's doing his best to keep me out of it. He's trying to answer all their questions. Even when they're asking me questions, he's like, I'll take it. You know, like he's the director. He's kind of like he's falling on the sword. And it started to get heated. We're like 2 or 3 hours into this meeting. It starts to get heated. And what they were really mad is like surrounding counties started using my system instead of theirs. Now, the underlying thing, though, is those counties had their own systems that they were paying for that they gave up. And because they joined my system, the state and I system were connected together. I was able to make them start using the state stuff because it worked on my system. Like I was increasing their usership. They didn't see it that way. They saw me as me taking over. Like, no, they're using your boards like this. I'm helping you.
Yeah, you're like, I'm redirecting them back.
100%. Like that's what I was doing. They didn't like that. But these were old military people in their 60s. No idea about the internet, right?
It's so anyway, single entry. They come into
sorry to bury the lead. They're killing me, killing my boss. And eventually our county manager, he's my boss's boss. He looked at him and he goes, you guys weren't out here doing all that, right? Like, I hear these. Clearly, you weren't letting another county use our system. And I was like, they came to ask, and yes, we did. And their guy jumped, like my counterpart, and he goes, what gives you the right? Why are they using your system and not ours? And I looked all of them square in the eyes. And in the most match your energy tone, I shouted right back, because my system's better than yours.
Done.
And suck my dick. Word is born.
My boss, like it was like a pin drop. Like it was so quiet. It was so heavy. I was so scared. I literally thought I got fired right.
Well, you left him with so say something. Tell me how it doesn't work.
I was like, because my system, and I did. I was like, listen, I don't mean to shout. I was like, I'm better at this than you. We've brought all them on faster than you could. I have them using your stuff that they weren't before. Like, I'm good at this. That's why they're using it, because I'm better. Like, mine's better than yours. Ours does stuff, yours doesn't. and I got told to leave the room.
Oh shit! Fuck.
They left. I was sat outside that room on a bench like a kid waiting for the principal.
Damn, you got put on timeout.
For like maybe 40 minutes. I sat outside this door.
Let me ask you a question.
Can hear what's going on, but can't hear, you know what I'm saying? Like, wah, 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 you know?
Yeah. Goes
Let me
high,
ask you a
goes
question.
low.
Was there any black people in this room as supervisors?
No, none.
Because I imagine there would have been one black like, that white boy was right about that.
Not one.
They 100% would have told the truth.
This was a bowl of mayo. 100% call. Like, it was a bowl of old mayo.
Black dude at once was like, that white boy right about that.
So my boss comes out.
That white boy might be doing something.
Yeah.
My boss
He
comes
would have
out.
said it.
They all like shake hands and everything. Nobody really talks or dresses me.
Mm-hmm.
My boss goes, get in your car. I'll meet you at Starbucks. I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
I'm getting fired today. I don't know what I'm going to do. My family depends on this, right?
Mm-hmm. I
I walked in that Starbucks and I was like literally almost to tears. I was like, that it? He goes, I'm not going to fire you. He's
okay.
like, but the county manager wants you suspended. He's like, so you're suspended. And he goes, without pay. And he went, wink, wink. He's like, for the next week. And he goes, don't you ever scream at our county manager ever again.
Okay.
You should be like, but I'm better than him.
I was frustrated that I had sat in a room for like 3 hours listening to everyone tell me about something they don't know anything about. Like, it's crazy to be lectured about something that you're clearly smarter in than everyone else.
Yeah.
That's a frequent occurrence that I've had to deal with, like in government. Because in government, there's a lot of seniority and and in public safety, there's a lot of rank, right?
Yeah.
So I could be the world's best something, but if I'm at the bottom of the rank, like nobody really gives a shit, right? So it's a frustration with my career that I've had to sit in rooms and be lectured how to do things the whole time. And I'm like, you literally can't type in your username correctly. I should never have to answer to you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's my almost firing story. What was your first job?
My first job?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Well, technically, my first job was working at my office with my grandmother. I was like 13 doing that.
Nice. Like errands and stuff?
Yeah.
Or evicting people at 13?
Kind of not wrong. I was like doing paperwork and stuff like that. Paperwork, filing things, writing eviction notices, writing all that type of stuff.
That is straight farm to table. That is a family-owned business.
Shit,
Yeah.
Where's that generational wealth? White man?
I wish.
It depends on like taxes or not, because obviously I did things before I paid taxes. My first
Well, I didn't pay taxes.
Legit job.
My first tax-paying job on the record job, working for the man job, was Dairy Queen.
All right.
My first working for the man job was Taco Bell.
I worked at Dairy Queen my
That
summer
shit sucked.
7th grade.
Oh shit.
They were like, I remember this clear as day. They was like, well, I'm like, hey, I gotta go to prom this week. They're like, oh no, you gotta work this shit. Well, I guess I don't work here no more.
Yeah, guess they ain't working.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, I quit on GameStop like that.
Really? Just like
Yeah,
I gotta go.
yeah.
I gotta
I
go.
worked at GameStop. It was my GameStop in my old house, like early PSVG days. The GameStop used to talk about GameStop in Carolina. At. I worked there before that regime came in. They had gotten a new manager or anything, but the time that I worked there, it was like moonlighting. Like I was always hanging out in the store, as I've always told people forever. Like I always hung out in the store and talked to customers. So the guy that was there, he's like, "Hey, do you just like want to just pull a shift? Like you're here, you might as well just work here." And I was working like county job, but like on weekends, like Friday nights or Saturday nights. I was usually doing like maybe 1 day a week, maybe 2, usually 1 day a week. So it was like a nothing job. I was getting paid like $50, like a free game. I was getting paid nothing, minimum wage, 1 hour, or not 1 hour, it was like 1 day for like maybe 5 hours. And they had this manager come in, and I was just there hanging out. I'm straightening up the stuff on the walls. And he just came in and like really rudely told me to go mop the floor.
Oh yeah.
And I had no problem like mopping. I had never mopped, to be clear. Like I wasn't there to mop. So like I didn't do that. Other people did. I didn't. But honestly, it wasn't the mopping. It was how he said it.
Like
It was
just wanting to be a dick.
So fucking condescending. And I just had like this wave of like, I don't have to fucking be here. Like, what am I? What do I give a fuck what you think? I literally don't even have to be here right now. And I lifted my lanyard up later. He was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I quit." He's like, "You can't quit. The fuck, watch me," and walked right out.
Yeah, that's always a good one. You can't quit. No, I can't. Yes.
Yeah, because I told him. I think I responded. He was like, "Yo, go back there, mop the floors." And I was like, "Yeah, it ain't for me." I was like, "I don't mop floors here, dude." And I was like, it was like, that's what it was. I was like, "I don't mop floors." He's like, "You do what I fucking tell you."
Oh.
And I just lifted it up, and I was like, "Dude, I have a real job, like a career and everything. I don't fucking have to be here." I do this because it's fun.
This is my fun job. This is my video game money job. Like,
and they did. I got free checkouts, right? So I could rent and take as many things as I wanted. So that's really what it was. I was working a shift to get free games.
Yeah, and y'all ain't getting them games back.
Right.
Actually, I had a game out and I never took it back. That's 100% correct.
Nice.
I came back in the week later and my manager was there and he was like, "Yo, what the fuck happened?" I told him and he was like, "Good for you." And then I never went back. They paid me on like their game. They had like an employee card, like they put your money on a card.
They gave you a credit card.
Gift card.
No, it was like an employee debit card thing that they had, like it was like a pay card, like a cash card. Like they would load your gift card,
like a Visa debit.
That's how they paid people.
We'll give you 500 in cash or 600 in store credit.
Right.
I might have taken the credit. Like, that would have been great. We'll pay you minimum wage, but if you work in store credit, $10 an hour, I'd be like, "Yo, load me up. Where's that trade card?"
Right.
That's exactly what I would have done. That's why I was there. I was there to talk to people about Nintendo and, get some free games every now and again.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. All right. Our next question.
Question 4.
We're not that far. We're on question 3.
Rapid fire. Let's go.
Danny, not DeVito. I don't know jack shit about the NBA, but the ways you guys talk about 90s basketball sound like it would have been fun to check out. The finals of every season seems easily streamable on the NBA website /YouTube, so on and so forth. So in your opinion, what was the best NBA finals of the 90s?
I have 2 answers.
You want me to tell the truth? Not many of them.
Damn.
I want to hear your answer.
So my answer, Donnie's favorite finals would be the second finals against the Jazz. The Bulls.
That was
going
to be my answer.
The back-to-back. That's like the 90s series to me. I will hear really good arguments. I think there are really great arguments for MJ versus Barkley, Bulls, Suns. And like part of me thinks that series is like more 90s. It's like very 90s. But the Jazz, the fact that it was the rematch and that the Jazz were really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like those series didn't go 7, but every one of those games was like down to the wire though. Like they fought minute for minute those games. I remember those games as a kid watching those games live, feeling like just like a ball of like tension because it was just back and forth. There was no like clear runaway. It was a really close series.
Yeah. I was doing my research on this because I was trying to remember the NBA finals and stuff like that. And just in general, I was trying to remember the NBA playoffs in the 90s. And then I started looking at those stats. You're like, God damn, Jordan was really whipping these people asses. Like you in my head, I was thinking games were going like 7 or 6. No, he was like sweeping teams.
No. So that's the thing. I think one was it which one went 7? Was it the Sun series? I don't think so.
I don't think none of them went 7. I think
most of the Bulls series went 6.
Yeah, I think the closest they got was in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Pacers, I want to say.
But I think one of the final series during the 90s did go. I think there was one game 7. I don't remember. Maybe one of the Rockets series.
I think it was the Rockets.
But we did have a 7-game series. But I don't think those were. I mean, I like the Dream, ring. That's great, but I don't think those are particularly great. I would love to tell you to go watch the Duncan Robinson finals that closed it out. That's kind of a wild series, and I think they won. Like those games are being won like 68-63 and shit. Like, fucking, you think scoring? You go back to watch some '90s basketball, be like, what is this rock fest? Nobody can make a shot.
Because I was even trying to think about like, oh, I remember finally the Bulls Knicks series.
Yeah, the conference finals.
Yeah, but then I looked at the game like, oh, the Bulls like whooped their ass. Like it wasn't the Bulls washed them. But I remember how fun watching those games were. So I wouldn't have thought that. But like, oh yeah, in retrospect, like
the Bulls, I think most of their series ended in 5 or 6. They did
correct.
I thought they 4-1 someone. Was it the Lakers? I think just ran through the Lakers.
Yeah, I think it was the Lakers.
Yeah. But yeah. The series I would go to is the Jazz. I think Game 5 that series was win or go home, and the Jazz won. Like that's a crazy game. And I know, I think rightfully so, people make fun of Karl Malone these days. He had like 40, I think, in that game. Like he went crazy really that game. Like, you know, his reputation underappreciates how good of a basketball player he really was. He was, dude. Like and they had bad blood. Like those dudes hated each other. You know.
I would say if you want a more definitively good like NBA final series, I would look at like those the ones from the 80s and stuff like that. There's some really good finals in the 80s. Some of the 2000 ones are really good too.
Boston Lakers, or are you thinking?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking Boston Lakers.
I thought maybe the Detroit teams.
Those are really good ones too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot closer, a lot more different, rougher basketball play.
Yeah. The 90s is good. Give it a try.
Yeah.
I'd rather you watch like the early aughts. Like go watch those Lakers teams. Or go watch what was that Nets team that was really good with RJ.
RJ.
You remember the Nets went to the finals?
You talking about the Derek Coleman years?
What did it say? Did they play? Was it Philly that year? I thought the 2003 NBA Finals, Nets Spurs.
Okay, I vaguely remember that.
I gotta look up that Nets roster. That was a fun series. Not a particularly close series, but a fun series. Richard Jefferson, Jason Kidd, Kerry Kittles, Danielle Marshall, Mutombo, Scalabrine.
The 2002 or the 2003 finals?
I don't know. Maybe the 2002 finals, probably.
2002 was against the Lakers. And 2003 was the Spurs.
Maybe either one of them. Go watch those teams.
Yeah.
Those Spurs teams. Early Manu and Tony with David Robinson and stuff. Go
really good. All right.
Nothing, Chaufie?
Nothing.
No. Question number 4.
Talking about wrestling.
This is gonna be a half-hour question.
Oh God!
Now.
From Stingray X, do you think the F1 movies will bring fans into the sport?
Yes.
Done.
Depends on how good the movie.
I still need to watch it.
Let's move on.
Next.
That was brilliant. Here we go.
This is you.
Kyle the Pug. Fuck you, Kyle the Pug.
Fuck you, Kyle.
With the next...
Love you, Kyle the Pug.
Nah, son. With the next Street Fighter movie coming out, do you think it will be better or worse than the 1994 Street Fighter dumpster fire? You will not be slandering the 94 movie.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you directly right now because my wife is working on this movie right now, and she says it's a fucking mess.
See?
Like,
I knew it. I told you.
Figure out what source they're going to pull from. She's like, she's all this fucking project's
I remember
a mess.
there were
It's a
months
huge
ago where I was
fucking
like,
mess.
when they were like, now, to be clear, I didn't have a problem with Roman Reigns being in the movie. I had a problem with Roman Reigns being Akuma.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Like oh, he's going to be Akuma? And then I'm like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Then I saw like 50 Cent as Balrog, like, oh.
Yeah, no, I have a problem with that. Yeah, no, I didn't have a problem with the casting of Roman, but
And then they were like, Andrew Schultz as Dan. I'm like, oh God, here we go.
it might be hilarious. Watch 50 Cent just be gangsters. Fuck, man. You know, might shine
some
new
of these
light.
I'm like, oh boy, this looks really bad. And I think who was another one? Cody Rhodes is guy doesn't surprise me too much because I've seen him act before. He's not a great actor.
No, it's not good. That's cheesy as fuck.
He's not a great actor, but I was like, okay, I can.
Is this like
understand.
a TNT made for TV?
This
live
looks like a Tubi movie.
Yeah, like this doesn't sound real at all.
Streets of Fighter.
I'm telling you, because she was talking to me about it the other. She had 2 phone calls today, and we were talking about it yesterday. And it was funny because she walked out of her office and she's just like, "I fucking hate Street Fighter. I was in the house."
Yeah,
I was like, "Who are you yelling at?"
Like,
And
yeah.
she's like,
Street
"This
Fighter
fucking
6 is
project
good
is
though.
bullshit."
Bikinis.
Jason Momoa as Blanca. Like, oh,
Yeah.
this is gonna be fucking awful.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's such a high pedestal, such a high mark to live up to. You can't come for the king like that. You actually think anybody actually think you can better Street Fighter 94?
Absolutely
Not a fucking
not.
chance.
Absolutely not. That
Here's
movie's
what I'll
fucking
say:
great.
it's probably going to be so bad that it's going to be brilliant.
No.
You know, just
No,
does
it's gonna
that
be
full
bad.
circle.
No, I think it's gonna be
I'm
bad.
gonna put it to you this way. I hated this casting for this
Be
movie so
Justice
much.
League bag.
Right? It's going to be fucking.
Yes,
Is
it
this going to be like a Ooey Bowl movie?
People are like, yo,
I hated this
don't go
casting
see
so
this.
bad. I was like, you know what? Maybe and Donnie was right about that Mortal Kombat movie. Maybe it was pretty good.
That Mortal Kombat movie was good.
I-
See,
It's
sometimes
didn't
really
like it.
good.
you need a
Really good.
moonfall to tell you what bad movies are. You're like, suddenly that shit ain't so bad anymore.
Like, you
That
know,
Mortal
maybe,
Kombat was all right.
maybe
That was
they didn't
me.
need that.
Resident
that
Evil 7, I was like, I think you guys are overhyping it. Kept playing Resident Evil. I was like, know what? No. 7 was good, though. Go back. Reverse,
like,
reverse.
Maybe Mortal Kombat didn't need Johnny Cage in the first one. Maybe this other Asian guy who just random
Dude, I
creative player
don't,
got
I
fun.
don't get the hate for that one. Movie legit good. Like, did Mortal Kombat.
But
As
then they
good
were
as
like,
you could have
hey.
hoped for.
Then they were like, hey, here's Andrew Schultz in Street Fighter. Like, you know what? I judged you wrong.
That's wild. I didn't know that. That's terrible.
Like, this is awful.
Who? Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, this is bad. I'm speechless. This sounds terrible.
Next question. Next.
Yeah, thank you.
Next movie.
Yeah, next movie. Magnum TK. I love that name, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, PSVG. If you could bring back one studio that has been closed, which would you choose and what game would you bring back with the company?
That's a great.
There are
question.
many, but I would choose Midway Games and bring back Rampage and Gauntlet Legends.
Nice.
Midway's a good choice.
Yeah, it's not bad. I honestly
a
I
lot
never
under
thought.
Midway.
I never thought of like I wasn't thinking of like those '90s like Acclaim brand. Like I wasn't even my head wasn't even there. I was thinking solely of like some of these closed studios that we've seen, you know, in modern times.
What?
Because it wasn't Midway was a publisher too, right? It wasn't just
That's
a studio.
correct.
They had multiple studios. So I was thinking like solely like studios, not like resurrecting like a whole brand or a publisher.
Can I cheat?
Sure, do whatever the fuck we want.
Okay. I'll bring back Kojima Productions. The
That exists
Konami one.
now.
No,
Oh,
the one
you
the
mean-
one from Konami.
Gotcha.
And have him make another Metal Gear game.
Okay.
Or finish 6. Because
Right.
6 was never finished. Which irks
How
me.
are you liking? You didn't talk about Death Stranding.
I like Death Stranding a lot.
Okay.
I like it a lot. Talked about it on camera. Like, it's a very relaxing game to play.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I saw a video clip where it's fucking Norman Reedus like in a hot springs with like the baby and they're singing with each other.
You
I was
know
like,
what?
This game is fucking
I'm going to
weird.
change my answer. I'm going to change my answer a little bit.
Norman Reedus.
No. I love Norman Reedus. Still Kojima Studios.
Okay.
Silent Hills is the answer.
Yeah,
I'm gonna finish PT.
Yes.
Yeah. Poontang.
It's not bad. Chaufie.
That shit. This is I don't have an answer for this. I never paid attention enough to remember any studios.
He
or
doesn't
any
care
of
about
that
all these
stuff.
studios. He fires the studios.
Oh yeah, I'm like, get him out, get him out.
D-Life says, do you guys think Nintendo will ever buy Rare? No.
Microsoft should just give Nintendo Rare. Like, here you go.
If not Rare, at least the properties.
I'm like, bad. My bad. We
At
didn't
least the
deserve to have
properties.
this.
They
Yeah,
honestly,
just
here's Banjo.
Just take it back. You can take
Now,
it.
yeah.
Make a deal.
But no, they're not. One, I don't think Nintendo would buy the company. Perhaps like the trademark or IP, maybe. But I think it's more likely they would just like, if they were interested in that, like the Banjo creator just left, right? They just hire him.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't buy it for Microsoft. They just hire him and let him recreate it. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's what they would do. But I don't think they're interested. If they wanted to buy Rare, they would have. They weren't interested then. I don't think they're interested now.
Yeah.
I don't think Sea of Thieves is doing anything for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Rare is not Rare. Like Nintendo Rare is not Rare. Like that's not the same.
No, it's not.
Yeah, very different companies these days. So, I would bring back Japan Studio
Okay.
at PlayStation. I love everything Team Asobi's done. I kind of wish they had both instead of having to like pick one or the other. Like, I think I would be more interested in owning PlayStation products if those sorts of games were coming out at faster clips. If we were getting those Japan Studio games and more Hot Shots Golf, and then like I loved a lot of that shit. So when they closed that one sucked. Lionhead, perhaps, maybe. I don't even know if I believe in that one. Like, I just don't want I would have liked to have Fable to have never gone away, but Lionhead was in a weird place. So like they were making Fable Legends and like turn-based. Like they seem to be getting off of like Fable. They had like the Kinect game, like motion control Fables and stuff, which like I understood at the time, but like I understand why they closed Lionhead. But in a different universe, I would have liked Lionhead to stick around, and maybe during Xbox One, maybe we got like a legit Fable game. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got anything, Chaufie?
I don't. Like
I'll
I
give
said,
another
this,
one then. Since you don't
this is
have
like one of those where I don't track it well enough.
I have another one. I just thought about it. And I don't know why I didn't say this one before. Original Telltale games.
Telltale, yeah.
Yeah, because
definitely
the
comes to
Telltale that's there now is not Telltale.
That is
That's
true.
why
That is
they just
really
bought the
true.
name. And then,
And then finally get Wolf Among Us.
yes.
That's supposed to be coming out. They said it's
Never.
still in the works.
That shit ain't happening.
I don't think it's coming. I hope it does. I really do, but I don't think it's coming.
I do.
I hope it comes.
I think it shows up. Maybe next year.
Their website hasn't even been updated in a while because I've been checking. And that's like looks like it's the only thing they're working on right now. And nothing.
I've got an answer for Chaufie.
All right.
Okay.
If you bring back Clover, Capcom Studio that made Okami and Beautiful Joe, and all
Oh
that
yeah.
too,
Yeah.
that became what so much about Platinum became. But that all comes out of Clover.
Yeah, because that one I do wonder about. Like, it wasn't a perfect game, but Beautiful Joe really like
I would love for that
the
to hit
cult
NSO.
status. Man, that'd be loved. I'd love to see it like remastered, remade, part 2,
Remaster,
whatever.
just a sharper version of that. Like
Yeah.
art style is to this day, Like
It
leave
was
it alone. Just
crisp.
upscale it and just that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, is Shinji Mikami's like startup place, and
Mhm.
all the Kamiya and everything else that came through there. It was kind of a legendary, like a
Yeah.
Hall of Fame who's who of video games for the next 25 years. They were all there at Clover together. Makes you wonder.
I like it.
It's like maybe you shouldn't have closed them.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have kept it going.
Yeah.
But at the time, their games weren't they weren't making money.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
were
because
making
that
niche
one,
things that weren't keeping the lights on.
it really was bust because so a friend of mine was game testing for Capcom at that time. And he was
wow.
And so he was like, hey, do you want to see this crazy ass game? And I was like, yeah. So I played it maybe like like 6 months to a year ahead, and it was just like one little level. And he's like, yeah, they had me like testing this one out, and I was like, this game is fucking bonkers. Like, I was not ready for what it was doing. And then with just like the whole self-shaded like look of it all, that game was beautiful. It was
I love
insane.
the art. It's just a thing that I always think about when we talk about these sorts of things, closures, and that's a good way of ending this Xbox episode. I hate when these decisions to open and close these things are made off of like one bad game or one bad generation. Because you look back at history and you look at things like Clover, and it's like Capcom's like, they're not making any money. It's like, yeah, right then. But you were on the precipice of printing money for the next 20 years if you just stuck with it. That has been a criticism that I've had for Xbox this generation. They've been so quick to change directions and chase things. It's like, man, just find something you believe in and do it. Yeah. Like, just do it. Just settle in and do that. Can't pin them down. You know, it's like, I know Redfall was a mess, but like, could the next one have hit?
Right.
What?
Not everything's marathon.
Could Tango have come back and, you know, captured something? They did it once. Like, why couldn't they do it again? Yeah. Like, developers studios aren't given that sort of leeway anymore unless they have like a large amount of equity, and which in any case, bases like Bend and stuff, even with those, turn 10. Even with the studios that do have some legacy and some success, even they don't have that long a leash, it feels like, anymore.
No.
You know, I think before, like when we were coming up, God, we sound so fucking old on this podcast. Definitely this whole podcast, just the old of us. But like, you were able to miss a couple. Like, maybe you just missed a generation. Like, you know what? Like, Kirby on GameCube just fucking, it got weird. Right? They were doing some shit. It was weird. It wasn't particularly great, but you could come back on Wii and land an epic yarn and like get going. And like, you were afforded that sort of opportunity. That seems like that's gone now. It's like, no, you will hit. Forspoken will be 10 out of 10 and sell 10 million copies, or we will literally obliterate the studio by the end of the weekend.
It was like you got the opportunity to take a game places. Yeah. I mean, to even bring up the yarn aspect of it all, where it was just like that was the thing for a while. And it was like, because you don't know what's going to hit until you try it. Instead of just trying to Fortnite-ify every game that's out now, it's like,
maybe it's outdated. Maybe the reason this isn't happening more is because it's outdated. But like, the thing that I used to always bring up, something that I want to still believe in, is before these publishers, and maybe it's just cost, maybe I guess would be the argument is why this doesn't happen anymore. But publishers used to make like a 3-game commitment. You'd start the first one. Nobody would expect that first one to break like through. Like, you're getting it out there. You're going to build something small. You're going to get it out there. We're going to show people what this is, get them into it, see if they like it, and then we're going to hit them with the sequel. And the sequel is where we're going to make our money. And it's like, that's gone. It's completely gone.
Super gone. Because you know what it made me think of is like, if we didn't take these chances, we would never have any Mario Country, or not Mario, Donkey Kong Country. And that's a fucking pivot. That's a pivot. But then to think of another fucking weirder one is Mario versus Rabbids. Like, to really think about what it is, that game does not make sense and should never have happened. It's fucking weird. Like,
Cadence
who
of
said?
Hyrule.
Yeah, and it took off. But it could have just been one of those things that was like, all right, shut it all down. We fucked up.
Yeah, definitely. I don't have a solution to that, but like, it just seems, we talk about all the time, how do you break through with a new idea in that environment? Yeah. Like, how hard is it to break through with a new IP? Yeah. How hard is that?
A new IP that doesn't have merch tie-ins, you know, a movie in the works, like, nah, sorry, ain't gonna do it. Yeah. Not happening.
Tough industry, man.
Yep, for sure.
I wouldn't want to run a game studio. That just seems like a surefire way to lose a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Ready to close up shop?
Yeah, you got almost a 4-hour show. Leave us alone.
That's way too long.
God damn.
It's supposed to be a short show.
Edit this bitch.
Nothing was short about the show.
Right. We're out of here.
Nobody's sleeping in the middle of the bed. The middle of the bed is only where you do the business. But when everybody's ready to sleep, it's the side of the bed that can't be beat. It's the middle of the bed where lovers meet. But when it comes time to slumber, it's the edges. Ooh, 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 the edges.